Communities across Nepal celebrate Makar Sankranti in diverse traditions. Tharo community observe Maghi. Kirat community welcome New Year. 11th National Yoga Day being observed under the theme Yoga for a Healthy Society, Prosperous Nepal and World Peace. The first meeting of new Central Working Committee formed after a special General Convention of Nepali Congress concludes. U.S. State Department announces it will pause immigrant visa processing from 75 countries. U.S. President Donald Trump says he had been informed the killing in Iran is stopping, referring to recent crackdowns on protests. And Sankata FC and Sadobata Youth Club play a goalless draw in the ongoing ENFA National League football in Kathmandu. Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanamarai and this is NTV World Prime Time News coming to you live from Kathmandu at 1900 hours Nepal time. Across the globe, it's 1:15 p.m. in London, 10:15 p.m. in Tokyo and just after midnight in Sydney. Now the news in detail. Nepal is observing Maghi Sankranti today, with communities across the country celebrating the festival according to their ancestral traditions. The first day of the Magh month in the lunar calendar is considered auspicious for ritual, bathing, prayer and meditation, and special fairs are also being held at several pilgrimage centers. In Nepal's southern plains, which is the Tarai region, Magh Fest is celebrated as Nahan, or the bathing festival, where taking a ritual bath is considered mandatory. Religious belief holds that bathing at sacred sites and donating sesame seeds on this day yields merit equivalent to donating gold. Large crowds of devotees gathered at major holy sites across Nepal, including Devghat in Chitwan, Tanahu, the Trishuli River in central Nepal, Kali Gandaki in Mustang and Myagdi, Bagmati River in Kathmandu, Indravati in Sindhu Palchok, Triveni in Nawalparasi and Riddhi in Gulmi, to perform the ritual bath known as Makar Snan. The festival is also marked by the consumption of traditional foods such as ghee, chaku, sesame-based dishes, yam, spinach and khichdi, which are believed to provide warmth during the winter season. Maghi Sankranti holds deep cultural and religious significance in Nepal, symbolizing purification, renewal and the sun's transition into a new zodiac phase. The Tharo community across Nepal is observing Maghi festival, one of its most important cultural celebrations, with traditional rituals, cultural programs and communal gatherings. The festival, which marks the beginning of the new year for Tharo people, is celebrated with great enthusiasm, particularly in districts with a large Tharo population. On the occasion, community members take ritual baths, clean their homes and gather with family and relatives to celebrate. Various cultural events, including traditional dances, songs and exhibitions of indigenous foods, are being organized to preserve and promote Tharo art, culture and heritage. The indigenous Tharo community celebrates the Maghi festival as their new year, which falls annually on 1st of Magh as per Nepali calendar, generally in mid-January. The festival involves several traditional practices that are central to the social and cultural life of the community. Among these, planning the year's work is a key ritual during which community members set goals and make arrangements for agricultural, social and economic activities for the coming year. The Tharo community is widely distributed across Nepal, residing in 23 districts spanning from Jhapa in the east to Kanchanpur in the west of the country. The Magar community across Nepal celebrated Maghi Sankranti with traditional songs, indigenous attire and cultural festivities, sharing joy and preserving their ancestral customs. The celebrations were marked by rituals, music and dances that reflect the rich heritage of the community. On this auspicious day, the community observed ancestral practices by offering rites for daughters and sons and also to deceased ancestors. The community also feasts with meals prepared from locally sourced ingredients such as yam, soybeans, among others. Likewise, Nepal's indigenous Kirat community marked the Yele Samvad 5086th New Year. A program was held in federal capital Kathmandu with celebrations organized by Kiratra Yayokha Central Working Committee. The event featured cultural programs highlighting the community's traditional practices, heritage and contributions to Nepal's cultural development. The community continues to uphold Kirat Mundum as a guiding philosophy, reflecting its enduring role in the country's heritage and traditions. During the program, awards and recognitions were presented, including the Hang Yalmwar Memorial Award, which was conferred to Kathmandu Mayor Balendra Shah and Dharan Deputy Mayor Harka Sampang. Likewise, scholarships were also distributed to outstanding students from various schools in honor of the first Kirat king, Hang Yalmwar. The celebrations emphasized the Kirat community's efforts to preserve their indigenous culture and identity while contributing to Nepal's social, historical and cultural development. It's also National Yoga Day in Nepal today. The 11th National Yoga Day, in fact, is being observed under the theme Yoga for a Healthy Society, Prosperous Nepal and World Peace, with various programs organized at the federal, provincial and local levels. Yoga, which was studied and developed by sages in the Himalayan region during Vedic times, had nearly vanished in Nepal. The observance of National Yoga Day has sparked a revival of yoga and Ayurveda, according to experts, and contributed to the growth of these sectors in the country. Since ancient times, yoga, meditation and Ayurveda have been believed to bring mental peace, stability and good health. This year, awareness programs across the nation continue this tradition, emphasizing the importance of integrating yoga into daily life to foster physical, mental and social well-being. Well, joining us now to highlight on the importance of yoga is medical doctor and yoga instructor, Dr. Arati Regmi. Dr. Regmi, welcome to NTV World Primetime News.
Thank you so much.
Well, what can yoga do that allopathy cannot, especially to people in this fast-paced world that we are living in?
Yeah, actually, yoga is integrates physical and mental health into a unified state of well-being. It brings harmony between the body and mind, not just physical exercise or mental relaxation alone. So yoga is meant for prevention. Prevention is better than cure. It helps maintain balance into body and mind, reduces stress, prevents lifestyle-related disease, non-communicable diseases like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, dyslipidemia, chronic respiratory disease, and obesity as well. So medicine is primarily focused on treating disease after they occur. Yoga prevents and promotes long-term well-being. Medicine treats disease and manages symptoms. So yoga creates simultaneously improve mental clarity, emotional stability, and physical health.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Regmi, would you say that yoga can be a powerful tool to help prolong life?
Yeah, of course. Yoga can be a powerful tool to help prolong life, especially when practiced regularly, because yoga helps to activate a parasympathetic nervous system, and it helps to increase positive hormones like serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins, dopamine. So it reduces stress and slows aging, prevents chronic disease. It improves heart, lung, and metabolic health, preventing lifestyle diseases, enhancing mental peace and emotional balance, and improving sleep, immune system, and overall vitality. So by keeping the body healthy and our mind calm, yoga reduces already early illness and supports longer and better lifestyle.
Considering the busy schedule that most people have these days, how would you say one can or need to accommodate yoga practice in their daily life?
Sorry, could you repeat?
If you could tell us, for the viewers who are watching us right now, who are concerned or wondering how they can accommodate yoga practices in their daily life when they have such a busy schedule, what tip or hints would you give to them?
Yeah, every day, if we will practice yoga at least 45 minutes, it will help us to better life quality. And we are practicing Urja meditation every day from online, from Zoom every day. It's a free of cost. 90 minutes Urja Dhyan meditation, energy meditation. So we are benefiting yoga
Great.
like this.
Dr. Regmi, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Well, that was medical doctor and yoga instructor Dr. Arati Regmi speaking to us as we observe the 11th National Yoga Day under the theme Yoga for a Healthy Society, Prosperous Nepal and World Peace. We're going for a short break here. More news coming up. You're watching NTV World and this is Prime Time News. A day after the split in Nepali Congress, both sides tried to fortify their fortress, submitting additional papers at the Election Commission to convening the first Central Working Committee was on the menu for the special convention elected President Gagan Thapa's side. Unlike Thapa's claim of taking over the Sanipa office, a private banquet was the venue for the meeting, while party president Sher Bahadur Dewal-led side was busy in legal consultations ahead of the Election Commission verdict. Sabika Stressa brings the day's developments.
Following Gagan Kumar Thapa's election as the president of the Nepali Congress at a special general convention, uncertainty over the March 5 election has deepened. Despite Thapa's claim of being the inception side now, the first meeting of the special general convention elected executive committee was held at a private banquet hall in Kupandol. The Sher Bahadur Dewal-led side, on the other hand, intensified legal consultations as the claim over the party flag and election symbol has reached the Election Commission. Raghav Gautam of the party's Central Information, Communication and Publicity Department said the conflict has been long-standing.
Nepali Congress has this special clause in their constitution, the clause 17.2, which guarantees the right of those delegates to ask for a special convention if they deem it necessary for the change in leadership or maybe the change in policies to basically the ask was to hold a special convention, but the party leadership, the existing party leadership, didn't think that it was necessary for them to even address that basic demand and that led to this most unfortunate event in the entire political history of Nepal.
The battle has started now, with one side claiming that they had convened the Special General Convention as per party statute, while the other remaining firm on the need of endorsing the Special General Convention from the Central Committee. Gagan Thapa and Vishwaprakash Sarma, who lacked majority in the Central Committee, opted to bypass the leadership in their attempt to revolt against the older generation. The dispute is expected to end up in the Supreme Court, raising concerns about its impact on the upcoming elections. Advocate Radheshyam Adhikari said the Election Commission would prioritize majority support if procedures were followed.
निर्वाचन आयोगले धेरै कुरा हेर्नुपर्ने छैन, विशेष अधिवेशन भयो कि भएन, यति कुराको निर्णय दिए पुग्छ। त्यो विशेष अधिवेशन भयो भन्ने लाग्दछ निर्वाचन आयोगलाई भनेदेखि त्यो चाहिँ अब संस्थापन पक्ष त्यो हुन्छ। अब यदि त्यो कुरा त्यो विशेष अधिवेशन भएकै छैन भन्ने निर्वाचन आयोगलाई लाग्छ भने त्यो अवस्थामा चाहिँ अर्कै कुरा हुन्छ। कांग्रेसको विधान भनेको निर्वाचन आयोगको पनि सहमतिले बनेको हुन्छ र त्यो विधानको धारा 17(2) ले विशेष अधिवेशन बोलाउनलाई योग्यता पुगेका महाधिवेशन प्रतिनिधिहरूले बोलाइसकेपछि र त्यो कुरा चाहिँ सम्पन्न भइसकेपछि त्यसले जे आउटकम ल्याएको छ त्यो आउटकमलाई चाहिँ निर्वाचन आयोगले मान्नुपर्छ।
Political analysts warn that the unresolved legal battle within Nepal's oldest democratic party could reshape electoral dynamics and alliances in the weeks ahead. Sabika Shrestha with camera person Samir Thapa reporting for NTV World.
And both the revenue and expenditure of the government have appeared weak in the midterm review of the current fiscal year budget. According to Financial Comptroller General Office, the government's revenue has shrunk to 38% and spending to 35% against the annual target as of mid-January. For the current fiscal year, the government had proposed a budget of 1,964 billion rupees, which is equivalent to $13.55 billion. By mid-January, 690 billion rupees, which is equivalent to $4.76 billion, has been spent, which comes to 35.14% of the annual target. The budget expenditure under the current headings for the reporting period is 41.25% of the annual target. Out of 1,181 billion rupees allocated for current headings, 487 billion rupees, 143.1 million, which is $3.36 billion, has been spent so far. The capital expenditure has been reduced to 12.12%. For the current fiscal year, a recurrent budget of 407,888 million rupees, which is $2.82 billion, was proposed, but only 494.2 million, equivalent to $3.41 million, has been spent so far. Likewise, under the financial management heading, 375 billion 242 million rupees, which is $2.59 billion, was allocated for the current fiscal year, and by mid-January 2026, 153 billion 644 million rupees, which is $1.06 billion, has been spent. This expenditure constitutes 40.95% of the annual allocation for this heading. This year, the government has set a target of generating total revenue of 1,533 billion 446.9 million rupees, which is $10.58 billion. As of mid-January this year, the revenue generated was only 588 billion 514.2 million rupees, which is $4.06 billion, which comes to 38.38% of the annual target. Now, moving on, a total of 32,672 tourists have visited mountainous district Rasua during the last 6 months. There is an increasing presence of tourists visiting Gosaikunda area, having historical and religious importance, as well as panoramic Langtang region. Senior Conservation Officer at Langtang National Park, Shyam Kumar Shah, informed 32,671 domestic and international tourists visited Gosaikunda and Langtang areas from Shravan, which is mid-July, to the end of Posh, which is mid-January this year. As reported, around 44,000 tourists visited Rasua in the last fiscal year. The park charges an entry fee of 3,000 rupees, which is roughly $23 for foreign tourists, and 100 rupees, which is around $0.75 for Nepali visitors. With the rise in tourist inflow to the Himalayan district, local hotels, farmers, laborers and entire community have particularly benefited from the bustling tourism. It has generated roughly $1.045 million in entry fees alone. U.S. State Department has announced it will pause immigrant visa processing from 75 countries. A statement issued by the U.S. State Department has said the department will pause immigrant visa processing from 75 countries whose migrants take welfare from the American people at unacceptable rates. The freeze will remain active until the U.S. can ensure the new immigrants will not extract wealth from American people. The move affects applicants from regions including Latin America, which is Brazil, Colombia, Uruguay, the Balkans, including Bosnia, Albania, South Asian countries except Africa, the Middle East and the Caribbean. The decision follows a November directive to U.S. diplomats to ensure that visa applicants are financially self-sufficient and unlikely to rely on government assistance during their stay. International updates coming up next. For now, a short break. U.S. President Donald Trump has said he had been informed the killing in Iran is stopping, referring to recent violent crackdowns on protests inside the country.
Told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or an execution or executions. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it. I'm sure if it happens, we'll all be very upset.
The remarks come amid reports by rights groups that Iranian authorities were using force to suppress demonstrations. At the same time, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, stated it is prepared to respond decisively to perceived threats from the U.S. and Israel. IRGC Commander Mohammad Baghpour accused leaders in Washington and Tel Aviv of instigating unrest, allegations that both countries have denied. The statements underscore long-standing tensions in the region, highlighting the risk of further escalation in an already volatile Middle East. U.S. President Donald Trump has said the U.S. cannot rely on Denmark alone to defend Greenland, warning that Russia or China could seek influence over the Arctic territory if Washington does not act.
With Greenland, we need Greenland for national security, so we're going to see what happens. They're going to brief me on the meeting right after this conference. In fact, the sooner I get you out, the faster I'm going to know exactly what happened. But we have a very good relationship with Denmark, as you know. We'll see. But, we're doing the Golden Dome. We're doing a lot of things, and we really need it. If we don't go in, Russia's going to go in, and China's going to go in.
Greenland is an autonomous region under Danish sovereignty and has growing strategic importance due to its location and Arctic security considerations. Denmark's Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen responded by calling for respectful cooperation with the U.S., stressing that any engagement must recognize clear boundaries.
According to our intelligence, we haven't had a Chinese warship in Greenland for a decade or so.
Following meetings involving U.S., Danish and Greenlandic officials, Greenland's Deputy Prime Minister announced that additional NATO troops would be deployed to the island. He said increased military flights, naval activity and training exercises are expected in the coming days under existing NATO agreements. Authorities in Thailand are investigating a deadly accident after a crane collapsed from a construction site onto a passenger train, causing it to derail. The incident occurred near a high-speed rail project, highlighting the risks associated with large infrastructure development in densely used transport corridors. The Health Ministry has said 32 people were confirmed dead, 3 others were missing, and 64 people were hospitalized, including 7 in serious condition. Forensic police were seen collecting evidence at the scene as investigators worked to determine how the crane failed. Train services in the affected area were disrupted as emergency response and recovery operations continue. The voting in Uganda faced early disruptions today after many polling stations were not operational hours beyond the scheduled opening time as long-serving President Yoweri Museveni sought another term in office. Museveni, who has led the East African nation for decades, is widely expected to prevail against opposition candidates, including prominent challenger Bobi Wine, a musician turned politician with strong urban youth support. Journalists on the ground reported delays linked to problems with biometric voter identification machines, with some voters able to cast ballots only after extended waits. The vote took place amid an indefinite nationwide internet shutdown imposed by the government earlier in the week, a move authorities said was aimed at preventing unrest, but which drew concern from the United Nations. Heavy security deployments and reports of pressure on opposition supporters underscored broader worries about political freedoms in a country where elections have long been tightly controlled by the state. South Korea's media regulator has taken action against social media platform X over concerns that its AI chatbot service, Grok, is being used to create sexually exploitative deepfake content. The Korea Media and Communications Commission said the tool allows users to generate altered images without the consent of those depicted, raising serious risks, particularly for minors. Authorities warned that the creation, distribution or consumption of such sexually exploitative deepfake material can carry criminal penalties under South Korean law. The Commission has asked the company to introduce youth access restrictions and management safeguards and to report back on the measures taken. X said it will submit a safeguard plan within 2 weeks, after which regulators will review its adequacy and decide on further steps. We're going for another break here. More international news and sports update up next. Four astronauts are returning to Earth after leaving the International Space Station earlier than planned due to a medical issue, according to a video released by NASA. The crew includes U.S. astronauts Mike Finke and Zina Carbon, Russian cosmonaut Oleg Platonov, and Japanese astronaut Kimiya Yui. They unlocked from the ISS after spending about 5 months in orbit, cutting their mission short by roughly a month. The astronauts are traveling aboard a SpaceX Dragon capsule and are scheduled to splash down off the coast of California on Thursday. NASA said the return is proceeding under standard safety protocols for crewed spaceflight operations. An underground road system known as the Vegas Loop is operating in the city of Las Vegas, where passengers are transported through narrow tunnels in electric vehicles. The network was developed by the Boring Company, a firm founded by technology entrepreneur Elon Musk, and currently uses Tesla cars to carry paying riders. The system is designed as a one-way tunnel network aimed at reducing surface traffic congestion in busy urban areas. Supporters say the project it's a faster and less disruptive approach to building urban transport infrastructure compared to traditional rail systems. Critics, however, have raised questions about capacity, safety, and whether the model can function as a large-scale public transit solution. Time now for a sports update. The match between Sankata Football Club and Sadobato Youth Club ended in a goalless draw in the ongoing ENFA National League Football in Kathmandu. Although both teams had some opportunities to score in the game held at ENFA Technical Centre in Sadobato, they failed to capitalise on them. With this draw, both teams shared 1 point each. A total of 17 teams are competing in the National League organised by All Nepal Football Association ENFA, including 13 teams from the Martyrs Memorial A Division League and 4 from the ENFA President League. In the only match scheduled under the league tomorrow, Machindra Football Club will compete against Neuro Team NRT. The match will begin at 7 p.m. at Dashrath Stadium in Tripureshwar. Prior to this match, the formal opening ceremony of the National League Football 2082 will take place. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Communities across Nepal celebrate Makar Sankranti in diverse traditions. Thadu community observe Maghi, Kirat community welcome New Year. 11th National Yoga Day being observed under the theme Yoga for a Healthy Society, Prosperous Nepal and World Peace. The first meeting of new Central Working Committee formed after Special General Convention of Nepali Congress concludes. US State Department announces it will pause immigrant visa processing from 75 countries. US President Donald Trump says he had been informed the killing in Iran is stopping, referring to recent crackdowns on protests. And Sankata FC and Sadobato Youth Club play a goalless draw in the ongoing ENFA National League Football in Kathmandu. That is all for the moment. Our next bulletin will be at 2200 hours Nepal time. Do join us through our social media and get the latest update from our official website, nepaltelevision.com. I'm Sarah Sapsanamarai. Thank you for staying with us. Have a wonderful evening ahead.
Welcome to the studios of NTV World in Kathmandu, Public Service Broadcasting PSB Nepal's new initiative to make Nepal more visible and audible to the global audience. Welcome on board.
This is NTV World, facts that speak, insights that matter.
Telling the stories of a changing planet. NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Exploring the heartbeat of Nepali creativity. This is NTV World.
The power of story shaped by technology. NTV World.
Unearthing Nepal's hidden heritage. Discovering the timeless Nepal.
Telling stories that endure across centuries.
Where culture breathes, stories bloom.
When the world moves, we make a sense of it. NTV World.
Taste of Nepal. Every recipe, every flavor tells the story.
Journalism in the digital age. Fast, focused, verified.
Stories hold power. Stories reflecting life. Stories of the hinterlands. Reporting for NTV World.
This is NTV World. Welcome to News Hour.
This is NTV World. Welcome to Primetime News.
One story at a time.
Crossing borders, connecting voices, where Nepal meets the world in dialogue. This is NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Voices that connect Nepal to the world, bringing perspective, region and relevance to every story. NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Stand by. Mic is on.
3, 2, 1, cue.
We are NTV World.
Bhutan has been a fantastic trip so far. People come here mainly for the main target species and because birds are more easily seen.
Yungi khatoine training khandi gyamdi the autoshi jinsomdi the najimbale dang miselde name sam phento yoro shin.
In the valley nestled beneath the sky, where the snowy mountains reach high, the Sukteng Wildlife Sanctuary grows with life. The land of Yeti, as the people of Sukteng calls it, with tales and myths that flow through the unique culture of nomadic tribes in eastern Bhutan.
This part of Bhutan is the home to the Brokpa people, an ethnic minority of yak herders who migrated from southern Tibet in the 13th century.
The pastoral community was once home to a man with a dream. However, tragedy took place when the man was a victim of a fatal car accident. His death had a devastating effect on his family. His daughter, Ngawang Chensom, had to give up on her education. Her mother, Leki Dema, grieved and felt sad for the challenges she is facing.
Rango intention yana lumbegi isu nalham thosong dazi ne chige haptrumidi ningilam nalamaton tanoi ne chige haptrumidi the same man.
Why do I care so much for this place? Why am I supposed to stay here? I don't know what exactly is waiting for me in this sanctuary. There must be a reason why I cannot bear to leave my village. I live in harmony with the land, a timeless rhythm so great, and my paths, although unknown, and a life without hindrance that I grew up. As I travel across this land, I see the beauty, the clean air, the majesty of nature so difficult to ignore.
Ni sa than lu khan gam de sing motor da ke na thukina or pethong sing tene besing shupsing the motor da ka thubina le yu thar ko gi am me la kang yu shen de inji da chi thon prugu su me de mi che tu ka o da me la ba tin de sem shon de yu kang yu de inji da chi de os nam so khal da os chogina.
Sakting is a wild haven where red pandas, Himalayan black bear, snow leopard, and musk deer hide in the forests. This is a land of myths and mysteries intertwined in perfect harmony.
And my zone is, and then as we go higher up, we're going to get the trogopans and monals and blood pheasants. So it's people come here mainly for the main target species, and because birds are more easily seen in Bhutan than other parts. So Bhutan has got more charm to looking at the birds out here.
Rising in the early hours, my heavenly dream fades with the rising sun. Descending the stairs of my happy homestay, a familiar scene reminds me the wealth of our local handlooms. In a closet, hidden away, lies my collection. Colorful and cheerful memories of costumes ready to play. Drawn by the sounds of music, I like to see a group of women dancing to the rhythm of old songs. It made me feel lost in the pace and movement of the dance. Getting back on track, singing and dancing really brings the sense of togetherness and love for the traditions in my community. While walking in the peaceful village of Sakting, I could not help but feel a sense of reverence in the air. Residents spoke about sacred religious sites dotting the landscape.
Crops struggle to survive in the mountains. Now, with the introduction of greenhouse, fresh vegetables are taking flight to serve visitors to Ngawang Chensom's homestay.
A few local delicacies in the local alcohol.
By adapting to the challenges of climate change and finding new ways to grow food sustainably, she contributes to securing a bright future for her community and the planet. All is well in the village of Sakting, but with a growing population and increasing number of shops, the pressure on waste management becomes a challenge. Ngawang's decision to stay at home reflects the value of the preservation of cultural heritage and natural resources. By promoting sustainable tourism, we can make tourism work for everyone and appeal to future generations.
This is my first time visiting any Asian country. I'm very impressed with the beauty of Bhutan, the landscapes, the mountains, the valleys. The people have been very friendly, and the weather's been nice for us. Everything's just been lovely here.
Although they bid farewell to this beautiful song, we could see their emotions that they do not express or hide. Here, everyone's eyes are sparkling and glowing with happiness. These people, their culture and their environment have touched Ngawang's heart that she will never forget to go back to her village with hopes and aspirations.
India is soon be the third largest economy.
The gorgeous temple of Changu Narayan holds greater significance among the 4 Narayan temples located in different cardinal points of Kathmandu Valley. It is situated on a magnificent hilltop about 16 kilometers northeast of Kathmandu in the Bhaktapur district. Changu Narayan is known for its majestic temple complex, full of magnificent artworks in stone, metal and wood. As an important heritage site of archaeological and cultural importance with a history of nearly 1700 years, Changu Narayan was designated as UNESCO World Heritage Site in October 1979. By then, it also received the attention of international observers abroad. One of the first substantial epigraphic evidences of Nepalese history was found in the temple premises consecrated by Lichavi King Mandev, dating back to 464 AD. It shows that Changu Narayan was already developed as an important sacred place long before his time. There are various myths and legends regarding the origin of Changu Narayan. As detailed in the Vansavalis, Changu had already been established as a sacred site around 3rd century AD. The Ichangu inscription of Vijaya Kamdev, dated 1199 AD, informs that the temple was built by the king Haridatta Varma, happened to be 9th generations before Mandev. The time of Haridatta Varma is estimated as early as 325 AD. During Lichevi period, Changu Narayan was also known as Dola Shikhar, which refers to a mount or hill in the shape of Doli. Gopal Raj Vansavali and the Changu inscription also mention it as Changu, a Newari word that refers to swing like hill. But the evidences show that this particular place was popular as Changu Narayan from the earliest time, and the same name exists in the society till present. This two-storied temple is of basic Nepalese design with possible emphasis given to masterful ornamentation. The temple may have passed through series of restoration. The present structure was probably constructed in the 17th century. Changu Narayan is regarded as one of the masterpieces of Nepalese temple architecture. The older elements have been incorporated during the restorations.
Only after 6 decades of the institutional development of the now popular game of cricket did Nepal get the opportunity to play in the World Cup. Although cricket was introduced in Nepal during the Rana regime, the sport was confined to a limited number of people, namely the elite. It all started with equipment brought by students returning from their studies in Britain and India. Although Cricket Association of Nepal (CAN) was established in 1947, cricket remained centered among a few affluent individuals and in limited tournaments for a long time. Starting with the Bishnu Trophy in 1948, tournaments were limited to competitions like the Madan Memorial Sealed, Jugal Kishore Trophy, Rammani Trophy, and later the Jai Trophy. Even as the sport expanded outside Kathmandu Valley, it took decades for cricket to develop at the grassroots level. After the International Cricket Council (ICC) granted Nepal affiliate membership in 1988, Nepali cricket embarked on its international journey. The rule of mandatory participation in tournaments by the ICC and the Asian Cricket Council (ACC) opened doors to international competition for Nepal. After participating in the Under-19 Asian tournament in Hong Kong in 1996, Nepal has not looked back. Winning titles at the Asian and global levels, Nepali cricket team continues its journey towards the pinnacle of world cricket.
Goes down the ground because he was given that line outside off stump. So the first boundary of the contest, a handsome one.
Initially confined to Turikhel in Kathmandu, many international tournaments were hosted in Nepal after an international standard ground was built in Kirtipur. Nepal has also shown its proactiveness in differently abled cricket tournaments like the T20 World Cup for the blind in 2012 and the Asian Cricket Tournament for the deaf. Nepali women's national cricket team has also achieved remarkable success in a short period of time. The latest addition in Nepali cricket is the floodlit Tribhuvan University Cricket Stadium and the Nepal Premier League that has provided opportunity for Nepali players to rub shoulders with world-class players.
India will soon be the third largest economy.
Vaccination has played a critical role in reducing preventable diseases and saving millions of lives worldwide. Yet, globally, millions of children still miss out on routine immunization, leaving communities vulnerable to outbreaks. South Asia has recently shown remarkable progress, and Nepal stands out as a country that has not only recovered from pandemic disruptions but achieved global vaccine targets ahead of schedule. On today's episode of Insight, we are joined by Dr. Abhiyan Gautam, who is the Chief of Child Health and Immunization Service Section, to discuss global immunization trends, Nepal's public health achievements, and what can countries do to achieve universal vaccination. Dr. Gautam, welcome to NTV World Insight.
Thank you.
To start with, what kind of vaccines are we using to immunize our children, and how do you prioritize or decide what kind of vaccines to give to children?
We have started with 4 antigen from 3 districts in the country back in 2034 BS, that is 1977, and gradually we have scaled it up to 77 districts, and now we are providing against 14 antigens, and we are providing 11 vaccines against vaccine preventable disease, and is totally free of cost, as we have included that in our constitution that basic health services are free of cost, and immunization is also a basic health services, and that is totally free of cost, and the vaccine is of quality because we have Immunization Act, and as per the Immunization Act we only use WHO pre-qualified vaccine, that is WHO accepted vaccine, and that vaccine that Nepal is currently introducing should be registered in Department of Drug Administration, that is National Regulatory Authority for Nepal, and that means the vaccine that Nepal is using through National Immunization Program is safe, efficacious, and of quality.
Mm-hmm. Are the vaccines used in lower and middle income nations different from others, or are the safety and protocol and standards are similar everywhere?
It might differ in other countries, but in Nepal, as I said, we have Act, and which has enabled us to introduce quality vaccines, and that is WHO pre-qualified. WHO has regulation system, their own regulation system, and the country has its own regulation system as well. Each country has its own regulation system. Our country does not accept other vaccines other than WHO pre-qualified. That means the quality, the vaccine that is being used in Nepal, that is being introduced in Nepal, is of good quality, but other country might lag those system, those regulatory system in low and middle income country. So I can say about the other country, but the basic principle in other country are also the same. Most of the country in the SEER region, that is our neighboring countries, are also following the same system.
A recent WHO and UNICEF data shows that 89% of infants received at least one DTP vaccine in 2024. However, 14.3 million zero-dose children remain unvaccinated, and coverage still trails key global targets. Where do you see the challenges, and how do we cope with this?
There are some challenges in some pocket area around the globe. There are some religious minority, there are some hard-to-reach area and high-risk areas around the globe, and not only that, after COVID-19, many of the services were interrupted all around the globe because of lockdown and because of service interruptions. Maybe because of that, and there are some national disparities inside the country, and there are financial challenges in the country as well, and the question of sustainability has raised in other countries, and that has actually led to zero dose and dropout.
So when we talk about resources, how does Nepal government prioritize budget allocation for immunization campaigns?
Yeah, as I said, immunization is mandated by constitution, as it has written that it is basic health services are free of cost, and it is priority 1 program of Nepal, and Ministry of Health and Population has always prioritized vaccination as its first agenda. And that is why there is high level of political commitment, as well as there is high level of financial commitment in terms of Nepal. So I don't think there is challenge in introducing a vaccine, and also along with the high commitment, high political and financial commitment from Ministry of Health and Population, we also are a Gavi eligible country, that is Global Alliance of Vaccine and Immunization is the alliance who actually support low and middle income country to introduce new vaccine, and there are now 53 countries, such countries along with Nepal, and we are in preparatory transition phase. They actually categorize country based on gross national income, and Nepal is eligible according to our gross national income. So while introducing such vaccines, that is new and underutilized vaccine, Gavi support us financially, and not only financial, they also provide us with procuring vaccines and ancillary items as well. For example, cold chain equipments and other support. And they also support with the operational cost as well. And that is why Nepal has been able to conduct recent campaigns. For example, measles rubella, inactivated polio vaccination campaign, and most awaited HPV vaccination campaign all across the country.
What other alliances are we part of, and how is the collaboration benefiting the country?
Yeah, Gavi was supporting Nepal since 2001, and it's now we are about to celebrate Silver Jubilee as well. And along with that, WHO and UNICEF are our core partner, and recently new partner like WaterAid, Japaigo, GIZ has come up with different packages to support immunization program of Nepal.
There are skepticism about the quality and standards, especially for a country like Nepal. What do you say about it? How do we build trust, or is there something to be concerned at all about?
Yeah, we have to inform the public. We have to inform what vaccines we are providing and what's the quality of that vaccines. And we have been saying the same thing, that is, as per the Act, we always quote the things that this is WHO pre-qualified and it's of good quality, but people are reluctant because they think that whenever we receive vaccine, that is definitely is going to be trial. We are going to be trial. They think in that way, but what we are saying from the program is Yeah, of course. The people has to do trial. The manufacturer has to do trial, and that trial has to be conducted in other country, not in Nepal. And once trial is completed, WHO has to go through all the processes, and after vigorous processes, after checking everything, WHO pre-qualified it, and pre-qualified vaccine are only utilized in Nepal. And we have been saying it time and again. And whenever there is campaign, big campaign, for example, HPV campaign last year, we did that, and there were a lot of rumor regarding the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
The vaccine, the common rumor was the vaccine caused infertility, and the vaccine is on trial. And we said that the vaccine was already introduced in 145 countries, and we were the one who introduced vaccine for the first time, and we were 146th country. And that means other countries have already utilized, they have experienced the quality, efficacy and safety of the vaccine. And Nepal has recently introduced the vaccines, and there was some question regarding the trust issue. And as you said, so we try to debunk the masses. We try to give correct messages. And all the stakeholders, including celebrities, sportsmen, they all jointly came up to convey the message that the vaccine that Nepal is providing is of good quality, and all the adolescents should receive that vaccine. The voice was, we got same voices from all the celebrities and all the politicians and stakeholders, not only the national but also the international celebrities were with us during the campaign, and that is how we are doing every day.
So rest assured, the public can be confident that Nepal government takes vaccines quality seriously, and that they can, without any doubt, immunize their children.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, is it true that South Asia has recently recorded one of the highest improvements in immunization coverage worldwide? And if it is, what factors has driven this regional success?
Yes, Southeast Asia, actually we are under SARE, Southeast Asian Regional Office, and there are 10 countries and who actually are, that's a group, that's a regional office who actually govern all the WHO office of the country. Nepal has also the same system, and they set a goal, they set a resolution to decrease under-immunized children in the community. And we also put our views, and we actually align to we work jointly to reduce the zero dose under-immunized children. In terms of Nepal, we have a program called Full Immunization Declaration Initiative. That means all child should receive all the antigen that is provided by country, and that is also mandated by Act as well. All the beneficiaries, all the guardian, all the parents should ensure that child should receive all the eligible vaccine that government provide. That is as per the Act, and that is right actually. The program is not a program. The national immunization program is not a not only a program, but it's a right of the children. So that is mandated by Act, and we have been working for that. The Full Immunization Declaration is initiative which actually start from household. Female community health volunteer, she goes to each and every household to ensure the eligible children are vaccinated or not. And after verification, after checking the vaccination card, she ensures that the child is fully immunized. If not, she refer the child to the health facility. And these activities are being conducted throughout across the country, and starting from the household. Then if all the household of ward are found to be fully immunized, they celebrate it as a fully immunization ward. Similarly, if all wards within a same municipality are fully immunized, then they celebrate it as a fully immunization municipality, then district, then province, then nation. And this was the first time, in the last fiscal year, it was the first time where we declared Nepal as a fully immunization country, and it was the first time in history since we started this campaign, that is Full Immunization Initiative campaign, and it was started in 2012. other country also, there are many initiatives. There are initiative called Big Catch Up program, where Gavi also support with the vaccines, support with the programs, activities, and WHO also support, UNICEF also support countries who actually are willing to provide vaccines to their beneficiaries. And Nepal had started immediately after COVID-19, and so we actually initiated multiple events. For example, we actually integrate our program, immunization program, with other public health intervention. For example, vitamin A initiative, vitamin A campaign, and whenever we get opportunity, in every opportunity, we integrated routine immunization program, the screening of routine immunization starters, and then we actually achieved the target. And other country has also initiated on the same manner, in same pattern, and that is how Zero country has Southeast Asia has actually led in the immunization.
Nepal's female volunteer group was also awarded by World Health Organization. How significant is the award, and does it serve as a model for other countries as well?
Yeah, I think they are totally volunteer, and the female community health volunteers are they are the pillar of our public health interventions. Whatever we develop policy at the central level, that should be implemented at the community level, and they are the pillar of their community. They represent, they are the linkage, they are the bridge between health, Ministry of Health, and community and the family. And whenever we develop a message, they convey our message to the beneficiary, and they have been working in our community since for more than 35 years now. And this was the first time where we gather all the evidences, and we gather the transformative change that they have made in the community, and we submitted our report to the Zero. There was a competition between the Zero countries, and we won the competition. And based on the evidences that they have decreased the mortality, morbidity, the Zero has nominated or appointed them as a champion of public health award.
May I ask how much the Nepal government has been investing in immunization programs, and what are the future plans?
Every year, as I said, we are Gavi supported country. Every year, Gavi contribute around 60% of the total budget, and Nepal has invested more than 2 orb every year.
2 billion.
2 billion, sorry, yeah. 2
that
billion.
is barring the 60% that Gavi covers.
That includes 60%, yeah.
Okay, so 60% of 2 billion rupees or dollars?
Rupees.
Rupees is covered by Gavi. The rest is by Nepal government. There are certain vaccines that people need to buy out of pocket. Do you think this makes vaccines an item of luxury rather than basic health necessity?
Whatever the vaccine that is provided by National Immunization Program is totally free of cost. And we don't, even during COVID-19, though the vaccine was very costly, government of Nepal receive vaccine from donation, whatever the region, whatever the, when it is being delivered to the public need not pay any of the money. It's totally free of cost, and it is of good quality, as I said before. And the vaccine that is available in the market is being transported or delivered from the private companies, and they charge some money for the vaccines, and the government supplied vaccines are totally free of cost. And as you said, the questions of equity always, so we are also raising the same point, and they has to bear some, multiple steps. They have to go through a custom clearance, and they have to procure from, Nepal is not a vaccine manufacturing country, and they have to, they have to receive the vaccine from abroad, maybe from European countries or maybe from American countries, or from our neighboring country, and they have to invest a lot to bring the vaccine in Nepal, and that is how it is costly in the private market. And we are providing the government of Nepal is providing the vaccine of good quality. I can guarantee you that we are providing vaccines of good quality, more quality of the vaccine that is being delivered through the private hospitals or private company.
Do you think Nepal has the experience and resources to invest and innovate vaccine and produce vaccines of its own in future?
Now, yeah, in future, of course, we have the possibility, but so we have to have manufacturing company in Nepal, but we don't have such company as of now. And I have not seen any preparations from any of the company, not even private or not from the government side. And along with that, our National Regulatory Authority has to be a level 3, and now currently we are of level 1, that is WHO accredited level 1, and we have to increase our quality as well. We have to increase our capacity as well, and we don't have that capacity as of now. So in future, of course, we can see that there is high demand also, there is high need in Nepal, and we have to manufacture in the long run.
Could you briefly explain what WHO accreditation is?
WHO has to validate, WHO has to, there are multiple steps. There are multiple checklists of WHO to verify whether the government is capable to say the manufacturer is producing good vaccines or not. They have to focus on the safety of the vaccine. They have to focus on the quality of the vaccine and efficacy of the vaccine. And country has to be able to, rectify all the things, all the steps of vaccine manufacturing country. And that is how they label the regulatory authority as level 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 has the authority who has of best quality will get level 4, and now we are at level 1.
Level 1.
Yeah.
That's a long road ahead.
That's exactly. And the people in the regulatory authority are also trying to improve their quality as well.
We spoke about the achievements that South Asian region has made, but the region also faces still population density, migration and hard to reach communities. How do you think countries can collaborate to close these gaps?
South Asian country can close immunization gap by working collaboratively, by sharing data. And CERO actually, CERO is the one who is leading in the public health program in this globe, in this part of the country, and they have been calling the government stakeholders or government decision makers to share data, and also they are also collaborating for the cold chain improvements. And there is an initiative for cross-border meetings. We are sharing boarding with Nepal and India and China, and there are frequent meetings going on with the India now, and I think we have to increase that campaign as well. That is, cross-border campaigns should be increased, and we have to harmonize schedule. There are multiple vaccination schedules in Nepal and India, and those who are migrating, those who are working here in Nepal are traveling to India, and people from India are also coming here. For travelers, I think there should be a immunization schedule that is harmonizing the schedule between the countries, and we have to exchange the best practices of the countries. Nepal has a good initiative of Immunization Act, and we are selling that. Actually, people are learning, other countries are also learning from Nepal that they have to develop Immunization Act, and they have actually started. And Bangladesh is the one who has actually started after learning from Nepal. And we have an initiative called Full Immunization Initiative, as I said, and they are also learning. People from all around the globe are actually learning, and Gavi has acknowledged that, WHO has actually acknowledged our Full Immunization Initiative. And similarly, there should be a mechanism to pool resources as well. And due to financial crisis all over the country, all over the globe now, people are questioning about the sustainability, and now there should be a mechanism to help each other. India is a vaccine manufacturing country. I think being a neighboring country should help Nepal in terms of vaccine as well. And there are other neighboring countries actually who procure or who manufacture the vaccine. And for the neighboring country, I think there should be some mechanism to provide vaccine in cheaper amount. And we have to engage communities. We have to work together to, align together, and to ultimately we are working for the people. We are working for the community, and there should be some mechanism to reach hard to reach population, and to reach the migrant, to reach the refugee, and that is what government are doing in collaboration with WHO, in collaboration with the CRO as well.
From your experience and observations so far, what do you think the global community can do differently to meet the immunization targets of 2030?
Immunization 2030 is mostly focused on zero dose and under-immunized children. Their agenda is to reduce zero dose by 50% and under-immunized children by 50%. And they have to support in big catch-up campaign as well. They have to support with the vaccines. I think they can support with the programs which Nepal has already started. For example, fully immunization declaration. And we also celebrate Baisak month, the month of April, as a immunization month, while the globe will celebrate the week of April, one of the week of April, as an immunization week. All the country has to work for the zero dose and under-immunized population. All countries should receive some support from the global agency as well, from Gavi and from WHO and UNICEF, by supplying vaccines, which the country or the children are most likely missing the dose. For example, measles, rubella, which is the last dose, and people in Nepal most likely miss the last dose of routine immunization schedule. So the country or the global partners should focus or should support the country with those vaccines.
Dr. Gautam, thank you so much for your time here on NTV World Insight.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Well, we can conclude from today's discussion that immunization is not just about vaccines. It's about equity, trust, community engagement, and global cooperation. Nepal's progress shows that even with limited resources, strong political commitment and community-driven approaches can deliver extraordinary results. As the world works toward leaving no child behind, Nepal's experience adds meaningful perspective to global immunization discussions. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Insight. Until next time.
India will soon be the third largest economy.
Music all over the world is I think it's a universal language, and basically when it comes to musicians like us, we really get connected when somebody from some part of music from different part of the world can go well together, and we can do so many different things, because we come from different culture, we come from different perspectives in life,
So we started jamming together, and then we were asked to play a festival at the Pathan Museum called the Namlo Music Festival, Music and Heritage Festival, I believe it was called. And so we were asked to do that, and I said, okay, I'll put together a band with Prince. And then he called his old buddies from when he grew up jamming with them. I would play a bluegrass tune, and then they would say, oh, that sort of goes like this Nepali tune. And we would just go from one to the other, and then I would show them my songs, and we would do that. So that was 3 years ago now.
Joy and Prince has already said about it. Actually, they both first met each other. I mean, Joy knew Prince's father back in the US, and I was a struggling musician in Kathmandu, and I was friend with Mr. Prince Nepali, and we used to play in some other different bands as well. And once Joy and Prince, they both met, and Prince was like, are you interested in doing something new, something different rather than rock and pop music? What about some fusions and bluegrass and folk music? And he challenged me like, do you want to do it or not? And I was like, okay, I'm up for it. And then actually it's that kind of story.
Actually, I'm planning I haven't done any production or anything like this with this instrument, so I'm actually planning for trying to fuse a different instrument and get some production of different percussion instrument and our traditional composition. Not just the there are also different instruments like key, ta, and different folk instrument as well. So I think also I'm planning to get collaborated with different folk artists and the traditional drummers to bring them together and then make some compositions or just play the already composed things and then just make out some videos and then share it with maybe on some social platforms like this.
The music that we are doing right now is like a crossover between American bluegrass music and Nepali folk music. And actually, first of all, we came up with an idea of just playing with each other, just jamming together. And we found out that, okay, so this could work very nicely together. So I'm using a traditional instrument, sarangi, and we're combining this with the mandolin that comes from the US and the bluegrass music. And I think my idea is basically to present it like my folk culture and my traditional songs, and also go together with the American music. I've been very fortunate and blessed to be born in such musical family. So being a fourth generation, I think I never felt the pressure. First of all, because I enjoyed what I was doing, and then more than that, I think it's basically the kind of fun that I have with music, and I think there's some different intimacy between me and music, So I really enjoyed what I was doing, and I really had great fun. So I've been working on different projects and trying to inspire the youth at the moment in my life. So I have this project called Sarangi Ghar, where I basically have classes. We also have the store. We do produce sarangi, and I think it's also encourages me to explore with the instrument itself, and the culture itself, because it's so beautiful. And Nepal being so rich in culture and tradition, I want to collaborate with different artists, folk artists in Nepal, and all from the world actually, and create different kind of new music with different caste and ethnic groups here in Nepal. They also have their own traditional instruments, folk instrument, and I think you must like find a way to have fun with it actually, and then I think more than anything else actually, the youths can just enjoy what they have been like with the music itself, and I really actually want them to explore Nepali music more. Youth can basically have like an opportunity where they can just go explore, find an instrument. We have tungna, we have sarangi, we have many other instruments. Like if you go in the western part of Nepal, you have like far western part, you have hudke baza, and there's lots of binayo and everything. And I find panche baza is interesting as well. So everybody can explore like whatever interest they have. They don't have to take it very professionally. They can just enjoy with it actually. Himalayan Highway is like it's a music that's crossed between the Nepali folk and American bluegrass music. So today we'll be presenting mostly the fusion of like the instrumental thing, and we will be singing a few of our original songs. So yeah, I hope you'll enjoy.
मन मेरो खुला आकाशै भरिएको छ जुन र ताराले आफ्नो खुसी यहाँ आफै खुसी उडी जान्छु हावा बनी सररा उडाइ लाग्यो चिसो हावासँगै हो मेरो मनको भावनाहरूलाई सररा उडाइ लाग्यो चिसो हावासँगै हो मेरो मनको चाहनाहरूलाई मेरो मनको चाहनाहरूलाई मेरो मनको चाहनाहरूलाई
Actually, our first name was Manaslu Blue. The blue was for bluegrass, and then Manaslu was for Nepal. But then I was about a year in, I was brainstorming with my parents, and our goal with the band is to bring it abroad. I come from my perspective of American folk music, and these guys bring their wonderful Nepali folk music. And I think the goal of the band is to share this amazing fusion and to show people especially how amazing Nepali folk music is and how much we can do these cross-cultural collaborations. But the thing about Manaslu Blue is that no one outside of Nepal knows the mountain Manaslu. So then I was thinking with my dad, and somehow we came to Himalayan Highway. Highway is a very American thing, and there are a lot of bluegrass bands, Blue Highway, Golden Highway, so it's a common name. And then we thought Himalayan to talk about Nepal and the region. Well, first of all, I just fell in love with Nepali culture. I love momos, I love dal bhat, I love it all. I love this beautiful country. We want to show more people the beautifulness of Nepal. I think that from my perspective, I love Nepali folk music, but in this country, sometimes people haven't valued it. They've looked to the West for other influences. And so one of our goals is to bring up Nepali folk and fusing it. We're not just doing pure folk music, but to show that this is a vibrant, evolving history and tradition that is still relevant today. And then I also think to people abroad, and especially to Nepalis, I want to show them that they can take their instruments and their culture and they can bring it to the world, and that it's so amazing. I mean, everyone who I know that maybe they don't know so much about Nepal, maybe the only thing they know is that Mount Everest is there. But then once they try a momo, once they hear some music, then they love it. And so we want to just share this music with more people and share the cross-cultural collaboration.
Cause all day I chug away at work and try to shove down all of the hurt. But sometimes at the end, does it fade on the page? And my eyes just run a glaze. Let it burn and I sing hallelujah, 'cause I can finally feel something instead of just nothing at all. me burn and I say hallelujah. 'Cause I can finally feel something instead of just nothing at all.
There's a guy on the stage, and he's playing the guitar the wrong way around. And I also have to tell you that that's not his main instrument, in fact. His main instrument is the piano, but he also slays at the guitar. That's Mr. Enes Tamang.
Nowadays, I think many young generations, upcoming generations, like they are more over into like different. I mean, it doesn't mean to demean it, but people are more over into different kind of music rather than our own cultural music. And I think promoting like this, like promoting through our own traditional instrument like sarangi and tabla, and maybe fusing it. Of course, it's not like we don't utilize the Western culture. Also, we utilize it, but we should not forget like our own roots, our own culture. So yeah, I think it's important so that we could carry the legacy as well of our own musical instruments and our own culture as well. Our brand is like, it's like the main goal is to like, of course, promoting the folk culture, our own tradition and culture music, and with a unique taste, of course, as mentioned earlier. And I want to encourage you all to do music, like never give up. Like in some point of life, like we are doing it as a professionally, and some people might be like demotivated, or they might be like in confusion also whether should they pursue the music as their career or not. But I suggest them just do it. I know there is going to be ups and downs, there is going to be struggle, a lot of struggles, but it's worth it. It's worth it. And yes, of course, don't forget to promote their own culture as we are doing. We just wrote a song like few days ago, and it was so random, but it turned out so beautiful. It's called Samjana Bho, and it's a Nepali, like Prince wrote it. It's a Nepali song, but we are fusing it with the American bluegrass thing. Recently, it's the favorite. Not because it's just written in few days ago, but it has a very good meaning.
Story चाहिँ childhood love story को बारेमा हो, जहाँ चाहिँ दुईजना साथीहरू चाहिँ एकदमै स्कुल टाइमको लभदेखि नै धेरै अगाडि बढिसकेपछि चाहिँ एउटा पोइन्टमा चाहिँ जुन चाहिँ केटी साथी हुन्छ ऊ चाहिँ 4-5 वर्षको लभ पछि चाहिँ हराउँछ, र त्यो हराएको बेलामा चाहिँ केटाले चाहिँ धेरै थुप्रै प्रयासहरू गर्छ खोज्नलाई चाहिँ, तर कहिले पनि भेट्न सक्दैन। र पछि हिँड्दै जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ अब 5 years पास भइसकेपछि चाहिँ अगाडि गएर हिँड्दै बाटोतिर हिँड्दाखेरि चाहिँ उसले झसङ्ग एकजना चिनेको अनुहार देख्छ है। अनि चिनेको अनुहार देख्दाखेरि चाहिँ उसलाई चाहिँ अब उसले पहिला भेटेको मान्छे चाहिँ अलिकति चेन्ज भएको रहेछ, तर अगाडि जानलाई चाहिँ ऊ अगाडि बढिसकेको हुन्छ। तर त्यहाँ चाहिँ एउटा सानो बच्चाले चाहिँ त्यो केटीको हात समाएर हिँडिरहेको हुन्छ, जुन चाहिँ उसको छोरी हुन्छ। केटा चाहिँ अब अगाडि बढ्न सक्दैन, र त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ यो गीतको सुरुवात हुन्छ।
सम्झना सम्झना सम्झना
Well, there's one person who has actually the most microphones, but no vocal mic. He's got a master's in tabla performance, and he's just an amazing percussionist, Mr. Yusuf Maharjan.
So right now I'm using these three stone instruments. So basically, this instrument on my left side is called dhime. So this is our traditional ethnic Newari instrument. It's from Kathmandu Valley itself. Unique sound, actually. It's very bass boosted, and it's one of the very important instrument for our Kathmandu Valley, and it's used in most of the festivals. Like, you will barely see a festival where there is no dhime instrument. So I think the instrument that holds too many emotions of this valley and this country, it should be shared and should be known to the world. And so speaking about this mandal and tabla, and also with the tabla, I would say like all of these three instruments these are one of the really old instrument of the world. I would say like it's more than 1,000 years old instrument. So it's already like history living and the sounding of history, you know. So I think it's really important that the Western music that's not even more than 500 years old is being too much exposed, and yet this more old and more dynamic instrument, not just dynamic, and also the compositions, the sound, the tonal quality, this instrument really needs highlight to the world. Yeah. At first, the whatever generation is alive right now, so they must actually pass down this tradition and this instrument, the how to play the instrument, how to blend this instrument with different musics that's available in the world right now. That's it. To be honest, I'm really proud right now because there is not too much like musicians who are promoting our own traditional music or our instruments. Lots of Nepali people and youngsters nowadays they are too much into Western music, and I'm not saying that's wrong, but I think along with the Western music, we should also try to share our Nepali culture, Nepali music. And so this is one of our initiative to show the world how can we fuse Nepali folk instruments music with the American bluegrass music, and show them the new taste, how they sound with the fusion of these two different music from different worlds.
What if I told you a story of a place shrouded in mystery and steeped in stones? A place where warriors were born and raised, and their path through the mountains still remain to this day. Ajirkot Gorkha, the unbeaten kingdom.
हामी पाहुनाहरू आउनु हुँदाखेरि हामी यसरी स्वागत गर्छौं अनि अलि नाचगानहरू पनि देखाउँछौं। मेरो सिंहो नेपाल गाउने कि गोरखामा गर्व लाग्छ जन्मिएछु साथै स्वर्गमा म त नेपालकी छोरी भन्छन् गोर्खाली। जस्तो घाटु चुड्काहरू भन्ने चाहिँ विशेष गरी हुन्छ यहाँ।
For those seeking a luxurious escape, there are stunning lodges that offer an indulgent retreat amidst the rugged beauty of this place. But for the true adventurers, this place has it all, from trekking through dense forest of Nagepokari trails to exploring ancient temples and learning the rich history of the region. So, what do you fancy? Are you the solo explorer, or do you prefer luxury within nature? Or perhaps you are the one who seeks to witness it all. Well, after all, life is a box of chocolates, and this place is filled with surprises. Welcome to the place where magic and reality intertwine, where the wonders of nature are both breathtaking and awe-inspiring. From the elevations of 300 meters to a towering 8,000 meters, this place will leave you mesmerized and in awe.
third largest economy.
U.S. President Donald Trump said at the White House that he had been informed the killing in Iran is stopping, referring to recent violent crackdowns on protests inside the country.
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or an execution or executions. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it. I'm sure if it happens, we'll all be very upset.
The remarks come amid reports by rights groups that Iranian authorities were using force to suppress demonstrations. At the same time, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps IRGC stated it is prepared to respond decisively to perceived threats from the United States and Israel. IRGC Commander Mohammad Pakpour accused leaders in Washington and Tel Aviv of instigating unrest, allegations that both countries have denied. The statements underscore long-standing tensions in the region, highlighting the risk of further escalation in an already volatile Middle East. U.S. President Donald Trump said the United States cannot rely on Denmark alone to defend Greenland, warning that Russia or China could seek influence over the Arctic territory if Washington does not act.
With Greenland, we need Greenland for national security, so we're going to see what happens. They're going to brief me on the meeting right after this conference. In fact, the sooner I get you out, the faster I'm going to know exactly what happened. But we have a very good relationship with Denmark, as you know. We'll see. But, we're doing the Golden Dome. We're doing a lot of things, and we really need it. If we don't go in, Russia's going to go in, and China's going to go in. And
Greenland is an autonomous region under Danish sovereignty and has growing strategic importance due to its location and Arctic security considerations. Denmark's Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen responded by calling for respectful cooperation with the United States, stressing that any engagement must recognize clear boundaries.
Clear yesterday that Greenland, for the time being and for foreseeable future, will remain within the Kingdom of Denmark, and therefore this is a common position that we want to work with our American friends and allies, but it must be respectful cooperation, and it must respect the red lines.
Following meetings involving U.S., Danish and Greenlandic officials, Greenland's Deputy Prime Minister announced that additional NATO troops would be deployed to the island. He said increased military flights, naval activity and training exercises are expected in the coming days under existing NATO agreements. Authorities in Thailand are investigating a deadly accident after a crane collapsed from a construction site onto a passenger train, causing it to derail. The incident occurred near a high-speed rail project, highlighting the risks associated with large infrastructure development in densely used transport corridors. The Health Ministry said 32 people were confirmed dead, 3 others were missing, and 64 people were hospitalized, including 7 in serious condition. Forensic police were seen collecting evidence at the scene as investigators worked to determine how the crane failed. Train services in the affected area were disrupted as emergency response and recovery operations continued. Voting in Uganda faced early disruptions on Thursday after many polling stations were not operational hours beyond the scheduled opening time as long-serving President Yoweri Museveni sought another term in office. Museveni, who has led the East African nation for decades, is widely expected to prevail against opposition candidates, including prominent challenger Bobi Wine, a musician-turned-politician with strong urban youth support. Journalists on the ground reported delays linked to problems with biometric voter identification machines, with some voters able to cast ballots only after extended waits. The vote took place amid an indefinite nationwide internet shutdown imposed by the government earlier in the week, a move authorities said was aimed at preventing unrest but which drew concern from the United Nations. Heavy security deployments and reports of pressure on opposition supporters underscored broader worries about political freedoms in a country where elections have long been tightly controlled by the state. South Korea's media regulator has taken action against social media platform X over concerns that its AI chatbot service Grok is being used to create sexually exploitative deepfake content. The Korea Media and Communications Commission said the tool allows users to generate altered images without the consent of those depicted, raising serious risks, particularly for minors. Authorities warned that the creation, distribution, or consumption of such sexually exploitative deepfake material can carry criminal penalties under South Korean law. The Commission has asked the company to introduce youth access restrictions and management safeguards and to report back on the measures taken. X said it will submit a safeguard plan within 2 weeks, after which regulators will review its adequacy and decide on further steps.
Endeavour begins its journey home with the Crew 11 crew.
4 astronauts are returning to Earth after leaving the International Space Station earlier than planned due to a medical issue, according to video released by NASA. The crew includes U.S. astronauts Mike Fincke and Zdenek Hodman, Russian cosmonaut Oleg Platonov, and Japanese astronaut Kimiya Yui. They undocked from the ISS after spending about 5 months in orbit, cutting their mission short by roughly a month. The astronauts are traveling aboard a SpaceX Dragon capsule and are scheduled to splash down off the coast of California on Thursday. NASA said the return is proceeding under standard safety protocols for crewed spaceflight operations.
So we've had 3 good departure burns. The undocking burns 1 and 2, departure burn 0.
An underground road system known as the Vegas Loop is operating in the city of Las Vegas, where passengers are transported through narrow tunnels in electric vehicles. The network was developed by the Boring Company, a firm founded by technology entrepreneur Elon Musk, and currently uses Tesla cars to carry paying riders. The system is designed as a one-way tunnel network aimed at reducing surface traffic congestion in busy urban areas. Supporters say the project demonstrates a faster and less disruptive approach to building urban transport infrastructure compared to traditional rail systems. Critics, however, have raised questions about capacity, safety, and whether the model can function as a large-scale public transit solution. Netflix held a high-profile premiere for the 4th season of its period drama series Bridgerton in Paris ahead of the show's global release on January 29. The event took place at the Palais de la Bourse in central Paris, which was transformed with decorations inspired by the series, including garden-themed designs and signature colors. Several hundred fans gathered outside the venue to catch a glimpse of the cast attending the world premiere. Bridgerton is known internationally for its blend of romance, elaborate costumes, social intrigue, and modern reinterpretations of historical settings. The new season continues the format that has made the series one of Netflix's most watched scripted productions worldwide. A small family-run workshop in the Eastern Czech Republic is producing ice hockey pucks that will be used at the 2026 Winter Olympic Games in Milan and Cortina d'Ampezzo, Italy. With a workforce of just 8 people, the company is manufacturing around 10,000 pucks under strict international standards required for Olympic competition. The pucks are scheduled to be shipped so that they can arrive in Italy by the end of the year, well ahead of test events. Ice hockey pucks used at the Olympic level must meet precise specifications for weight, balance, and durability to ensure fair play on the ice. The story highlights how global sporting events rely not only on athletes and venues, but also on specialized craftsmanship from small producers around the world.
Dai Lake in Karnali province is a geographically remote district, yet rich with untapped potential for tourism. Stepping into Dai Lake, celebrated as a treasure trove of Khas art, culture and heritage, brings a unique sense of joy. Journey begins amid its natural beauty, leading us toward Mahabur Rural Municipality. As we leave the mid-hill highway, the terrain becomes challenging, with hilly, muddy roads demanding patience and skill. Long lines of vehicles crawl carefully along the cliffs, reflecting both the difficulty of the route and the enduring devotion of Mahabur Dham. Many travelers choose to continue on foot, advancing step by step toward their destination. Passing through Channa, Dasarathi, Okharbans, Bhavsaini, Noli, and Unipata, pilgrims ascend the slopes toward Lisni before finally reaching Mahabur Patan. Pilgrims from Dai Lake and nearby districts often arrive late at night, having begun their journey the previous day. The path to Mahabur Dham is thrilling, adventurous, and breathtaking, made even more dramatic by the steady rain, drifting fog, and steep inclines. Yet the journey itself feels uniquely rewarding. Mahabur Lake or Mahabur Dham, located within Mahabur Rural Municipality, is a remarkable place of natural beauty, religious significance, and cultural heritage. Situated at an altitude of 4,200 meters, the area is adorned with emerald lakes, grazing flocks of sheep and goats, and a sky that dances with Himalayan mist. Every year, during Janai Purnima, a grand fair is held here, drawing thousands of devotees from across the region. Mahabur Dham's spiritual importance is deeply rooted in the ancient worship of Lord Shiva, revered here as the origin site. From Mahabur Lake, visitors can enjoy magnificent views of Api and Saipal Himal, and on clear days, even the plains of Bardia. Given its religious importance and natural splendor, Mahabur Dham holds immense potential as a religious tourism destination. Improving the rough, narrow access roads is essential for supporting this growth. Mahabur Dham is more than a pilgrimage site. It is a confluence of culture, history,
faith, and nature. To truly appreciate its significance, one must visit Mahabu Lake at least once, immerse oneself in its natural beauty, and experience the serene environment that leaves a lasting impression.
पाटन दरबार स्क्वायर विश्व सम्पदामा पर्नुको आधारहरूको कुरा गर्दै सबभन्दा पहिले त यो विश्व सम्पदामा युनेस्कोले 1979 मा यो पाटन दरबार क्षेत्र अथवा त्यो बेला चाहिँ काठमाडौँ भ्याली वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट भनेर काठमाडौँ उपत्यकाको 7 वटा विभिन्न क्षेत्रहरू जसलाई अहिले हामी संरक्षित स्मारक क्षेत्र भन्छौँ 7 वटा विभिन्न क्षेत्रहरूलाई काठमाडौँ भ्याली वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइटमा इन्लिस्टिङ गरेको थियो। अब त्यसमा सबभन्दा ठुलो कुरो त के भन्दाखेरि तपाईले पाटन दरबार स्क्वायर, काठमाडौँ दरबार स्क्वायर, भक्तपुर दरबार स्क्वायर हेर्नुभयो भने यो 17औं शताब्दीसम्म मल्ल राजाहरूले यहाँ शासन गर्दाखेरिको दरबार क्षेत्र हो। दरबार स्क्वायर नामैले अब धेरैले सोध्छन् दरबार स्क्वायर भनेको के हो भनेर। वास्तवमा यो तीनटा त्यो बेला चाहिँ यो तीनटा अहिलेको ठुलो सहरहरू पहिला तीनटा छुट्टा छुट्टै राज्य नै थिए, छुट्टा छुट्टै देशकै रूपमा स्थापित थिए, मल्ल राजाहरू थिए। त्यसकारण राजाहरूको दरबार भएको कारणले दरबार स्क्वायर भन्ने हो। अब पाटन दरबार स्क्वायरको कुरा गर्दाखेरि पाटन दरबार स्क्वायरमा पाटन दरबार पुरानो मल्ल राजाको दरबार लगायत यहाँ भएका विभिन्न मन्दिरहरू हेर्नुभयो भनेदेखि यहाँ 16औं शताब्दीदेखि लिएर 17औं 18औं शताब्दीसम्मका पैगोडा शैलीका र शिखर शैलीका विभिन्न मन्दिरहरू। त्यसमा सबैभन्दा पुरानो भनेको 1565 मा बनेको चारनारायणको मन्दिर हो। यो चारनारायणको मन्दिर लगायत अरू मन्दिरहरूमा हेर्नुभयो भने हामी यसलाई हाम्रो पैगोडा शैली भन्छौँ। यो चाहिँ नि नेपाली एकदम बेग्लै किसिमको आफ्नै पहिचान भएको पैगोडा शैली हो। तपाईले साउथ इस्ट एसियातिर अन्त हेर्न जानुभयो भने पैगोडा शैली भनेको भिन्नै प्रकारको छ। तर हाम्रो यहाँको पैगोडा शैली भनेको मल्टी रुफ, धेरैवटा छाना भएको, झिङ्गटीको छाना भएको त्यस्तो मन्दिरलाई चाहिँ हामी पैगोडा शैली भन्छौँ। यो चारनारायणको मन्दिर लगायत अन्य पैगोडा शैलीको मन्दिरहरूमा हेर्नुभयो भने काष्ठकलाले यति भरिपूर्ण छ। तपाईँले प्रत्येक एकवटा सानो टुँडालदेखि लिएर त्यहाँको झ्यालहरू हेर्नुभयो भनेदेखि यो पक्कै पनि विश्वमा चिनाउन सक्ने खालको नेपाली कलाकृति रहेको छ। यो वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइटमा इन्लिस्टिङ हुनुमा सायद यिनै मुख्य कारण हो।
पाटन दरबार कसले बनाएर कहिले बनायो भन्ने कुराहरू चाहिँ इतिहासमा यकिन मिति पाउन सकिँदैन। तर यसको ऐतिहासिकताको चर्चा गर्दा चाहिँ किराँत कालदेखि नै सुरुवात गर्नुपर्ने चाहिँ यसको नाम एल भएको कारणले गर्दा कसैले एलम्बरको नामबाट एल रहन गयो या पनि भन्ने कुरा छ। त्यसपछि आएर हामीले लिच्छवीकालीनमा चाहिँ 643 को एउटा अभिलेख केशव नारायण चोकमा देखिन्छ भने अर्को 570 एडीको चाहिँ मङ्गहिटी धारा पनि देख्न सकिन्छ। त्यो भन्दा पछिको संरचनाहरू चाहिँ सबै मल्ल शासकको बेलामा बनेको देखिन्छ।
यो मन्दिर चाहिँ नि राजा सिद्धि नरसिंह मल्लले 1636-37 मा बनाउनु भएको 1636। त्यो बेलामा हामीसँग ढुङ्गे टेक्नोलोजी त्यति थिएन। ढुङ्गाको टेक्नोलोजी चाहिँ लिच्छवी कालमा धेरै राम्रो थियो। त्यसपछि हामीले त्यो ढुङ्गाको टेक्नोलोजीमा त्यति त्यो ढुङ्गाको मठ मन्दिरहरू बनाउने टेक्नोलोजीमा त्यति हामी अगाडि बढेनौँ। तर इँटा र माटोकोमा काठकोमा त्यो पेगोडा शैलीमा हामी धेरै माथि गयौँ। त्यसपछि ढुङ्गाको जुन शैलीमा जानु पर्दाखेरि त्यो बेलामा हाम्रो यहाँको मिस्त्रीहरूलाई साह्रै समस्या पर्यो। माटोको चाहिँ अडाइदिन सक्छु त्यो ठुलो अल्गो त्यो गगनचुम्बी त्यो बेलाको हिसाबले, यो त ढुङ्गाको त हामी सक्दैनौँ भन्ने भएपछि त्यो समस्या गनगन हुँदै गर्दाखेरि ठड्याउन नसक्ने भइसक्यो। एकजना बुढो मान्छे जान्ने मान्छे आएर मोडेल बनाएर यसरी गर्नुहोस् भने सिकाएर जानुभयो। अनि उहाँलाई विश्वकर्माको अवतार मानेर उहाँलाई सम्झनामा उहाँले पूजा गरेर अनि त्यसपछि कृष्ण मन्दिर बनाउन सुरु गरेको भन्यो। तल्लो तल्लामा हेर्नु होला तपाईँले बच्चाहरूको लागि खेल्न रमाइलो, बच्चाहरूले बुझ्ने ज्ञान सिम्बा शार्दुला राखेको छ। त्योभन्दा माथि जानुभयो भने तपाईँले देख्नुहुन्छ रामायणको मर्यादा, समाजमा मर्यादा कसरी कायम गर्ने सामान्य बच्चाभन्दा अलिकति माथिल्लो स्तरको लागि ज्ञान छ। रामायणको ज्ञानहरू, रामायणको चित्रपट छ त्यहाँ, त्यसमा अक्षरले पनि कुदेको छ, यो भनेको यो गरेको यो वर्णन छ। अनि अझ त्योभन्दा माथिल्लो स्तरमा जानुहुन्छ भने महाभारतको राजनीतिको ज्ञान दिएको छ हेर्नुहोस् है। सामान्यभन्दा माथिल्लो स्तरमा गएको छ, महाभारतको ज्ञान दिने कोही। त्योभन्दा पनि माथि जानुहुन्छ भने बनारस, काशी, दार्शनिक ज्ञान, धर्म मात्र होइन धर्मको पनि प्रकाण्ड माथि पुगेपछि दार्शनिक ज्ञानहरू राखेको छ। त्योभन्दा माथि तपाईँ एक तला माथि जानुभयो भने तपाईँले के पाउनुहुन्छ, फेरि शिवको मूर्ति पाउनुहुन्छ। शिव अवतार पनि त्यही हुन्छ। सबभन्दा माथिल्लो तल्लामा फेरि हेर्नु होला तपाईँले देख्नुहुन्छ 4 नारायण राखिदिएको छ, शिलालेखमा भने जस्तै सृष्टिको वैकुण्ठ।
अब यो म पर्को टोलमा बसेको नाताले चाहिँ पर्को टोलबाटै हराएको लक्ष्मीनारायणको चाहिँ मूर्ति जो छ त्यसको बारेमा चाहिँ अब खोजनिति गर्ने हाम्रो कर्तव्य पनि भयो र मेरो पनि कर्तव्य हुन आयो। यो हराएको चाहिँ करिब यो 44 सालतिर हो खास चाहिँ। अनि हामीले चाहिँ अब मूर्ति हराइसकेपछि अब त्यहाँ भक्तजनहरूलाई पूजा गर्नको लागि अब के गर्ने, अब मन्दिर चाहिँ छ तर मूर्ति नभएपछि त त्यहाँ त अब अशोभनीय हुने भयो। त्यसैले हामीले त्यसको चाहिँ अब अर्को छुट्टै एउटा लक्ष्मीनारायणकै अब स्वरूपको चाहिँ एउटा मूर्ति बनाएर चाहिँ प्रतिष्ठापन गऱ्यौँ हामीले। त्यसपछि एकजना हाम्रो त्यो जयलिन भन्ने एकजना आर्टिस्ट हुनुहुन्छ, कलाकार हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँले चाहिँ हराएको मूर्तिको बारेमा चाहिँ त्यो मूर्तिको पनि उहाँले स्केच गर्नुभएको छ। त्यो स्केच चाहिँ उहाँले कहाँबाट लिनुभयो भनेपछि यो हाम्रो लैनसिन वाङदेलले चाहिँ लेख्नुभएको एउटा द स्टोलन इमेजेस अफ नेपाल भन्ने एउटा किताब छ। त्यो किताबबाट चाहिँ उहाँले लिनुभएको। अनि त्यो स्केचबाट चाहिँ उहाँ चाहिँ अमेरिकाको चाहिँ यो अमेरिकाको डल्लास म्युजियममा चाहिँ भ्रमणमा जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ देख्नु भएको छ। त्यो जो मैले चाहिँ स्केच गरेको त्यही नै हो भन्ने उहाँ लागिसकेपछि चाहिँ अब त्यो कुरा चाहिँ गभर्मेन्ट लेभलमा पुग्यो। त्यसपछि त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ ल्याउने प्रक्रिया सुरु भयो। अनि त्यो प्रक्रिया सुरु भइसकेपछि चाहिँ अब यहाँ हाम्रो महानगरपालिकाले पनि अब आवश्यक चाहिँ सहयोगहरू जुटाएको छ त्यो ल्याउने काममा चाहिँ। त्यसै अरू थुप्रै चाहिँ अब हाम्रा संस्कृति प्रेमीहरू होइन, अब यो हितैषीहरू, शुभेच्छकहरू सबैले चाहिँ सहयोग गरेर यो ठाउँमा चाहिँ प्रतिस्थापन गर्न चाह्यौँ हामीले।
मणिमण्डपको बारे कुरा गर्नुपर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हाम्रो यो मणिमण्डप चाहिँ 2टा पार्टी छ, जुन त्यो मङ्गल बजारको त्यो हिटी तल जानेकोमा चाहिँ। अनि त्यो पार्टी बस्नको लागि मात्र होइन कि त्यहाँनिर चाहिँ कल्चर र त्यसमा चाहिँ हिस्टोरी धेरै कुरा जोडिरहेको छ। स्पेसली कुरा गर्नुपर्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यसमा चाहिँ हाम्रो मच्छिन्द्रनाथ जात्रामा चाहिँ एकदम ठुलो रोल खेल्छ त्यसले चाहिँ। अब हामी तल जाँदाखेरि दाहिनेपट्टिकोमा चाहिँ त्यहाँनिर बसेर हाम्रो गुठीको मच्छिन्द्रनाथ गुठीको चाहिँ मानिसहरू अनि प्लस पानेजु खलकहरू अनि ज्योतिष खलकहरू चाहिँ बसेर त्यहाँनिर चाहिँ कुन दिन जात्रा गर्ने, कुन दिन रथ तान्ने, कुन दिन फोटो देखाउने, त्यो सबै डेटहरू चाहिँ त्यहाँ बसेर चाहिँ सबै खलकहरू बसेर चाहिँ सहमतिमा चाहिँ त्यो फिक्स गर्ने गरिन्छ। सो अहिलेसम्म पनि त्यो चाहिँ कल्चर चाहिँ अहिलेसम्म पनि कन्टिन्यू भइरहेको छ।
दरबार स्क्वायर भनौँ अथवा पाटन सहर भनौँ, यो चाहिँ नि प्राचीन कालदेखि नै लिच्छवी काल अथवा त्योभन्दा पनि अगाडि किराँत कालदेखिकै महत्त्वपूर्ण ऐतिहासिक पुरातात्विक महत्त्वको स्थल हो। यहाँ चाहिँ नि मूर्त अमूर्त सम्पदाहरूले चाहिँ धनी छ यो सहर। यहाँ चाहिँ जस्तो अब हामीले दरबार स्क्वायरबाट बाहिर हेऱ्यौँ भनेदेखि चाहिँ नि विभिन्न वास्तु संरचनाहरू देख्न सकिन्छ। यी संरचनाहरू चाहिँ नि मल्लकालदेखिका संरचना भए पनि यसले चाहिँ मल्लकालभन्दा धेरै अगाडिदेखिको इतिहास बोकेको छ। यहाँ चाहिँ नि यो मूर्त सम्पदा मात्रै होइन, यहाँ चाहिँ नि विभिन्न अमूर्त सम्पदाहरू पनि त्यत्तिकै मात्रामा भएको कारणले गर्दा चाहिँ नि यहाँ पर्यटकहरू आउने यसको चाहिँ नि महत्त्व विश्वमा नै प्रसिद्ध रहेको छ।
आजभन्दा 382 वर्ष अगाडि राजा सिद्धसिंह मल्लको पालामा उनका गुरुद्वय हरिवंश राजोपाध्याय तथा विश्वनाथ राजोपाध्यायको सहयोग र सल्लाहमा चाहिँ यो नाच देश र जनताको कल्याणको लागि 5 दिनबाट सुरु भएको थियो। अनि पछि उनका छोरा भन्नाले सिद्धसिंह मल्लका छोरा श्रीनिवास मल्लले यस नाचमा बाठो प्याख त्यो भनेको लोक नाटक 7 दिनको हुन्छ, यो नाचहरूलाई थपेर यस नाचलाई चाहिँ 12 दिनसम्म सञ्चालन गर्नुभयो। पछि उनका पनि छोरा श्रीनिवास मल्लका छोरा योग नरेन्द्र मल्लले चाहिँ यसमा यो नाचमा चाहिँ अरू उषाहरण र माधव बानल भन्ने नाचहरू थपेर यसलाई चाहिँ कार्तिक महिनाभरि त्यो भनेको 27 दिन तिहारको 3 दिन बाहेक एकै महिना सञ्चालन गर्नुभयो। यो कार्तिक महिनाभरि सञ्चालन गरिने भएकोले पनि यो नाचलाई चाहिँ कार्तिक नाच भनेको हो। र अनि यो नाचमा चाहिँ हाम्रो नेवार समुदायको बाहुल्यता रहने गर्छ। हाम्रो नेवार समुदायको सम्पूर्ण जातहरू माथिल्लोदेखि लिएर सम्पूर्ण तल्लो जातसम्मको यसमा यो नाचमा समावेश भएको छ। अनि विभिन्न जात अनुसारै यसमा कलाकारहरू साथसाथै यसमा चाहिँ सहयोग गर्नेहरूलाई पनि भिन्न कामहरू छुट्याइ आएको छ, जुन हालसम्म पनि निरन्तरता भइरहेको छ।
छोरा नातिहरूले भोलि पर्सि चाहिँ हाम्रा बाजे बराजुले के बनाएर गए, हामी कहाँ चाहिँ कस्तो कस्तो किसिमको टेक्नोलोजीहरू थिए, हाम्रो कल्चर के थिए इत्यादि कुराहरू उनीहरूले पनि जानोस् भन्ने हिसाबले यस्ता चिजहरूलाई चाहिँ बचाइराख्नुपर्ने एकदमै आवश्यक ठान्छु। त्यसकारण चाहिँ भुइँचालोले जति पनि भत्के ती सबै चाहिँ फेरि कुनै चाहिँ नभत्केकालाई हामीले रेट्रोफिटिङ गरेर पनि जोगायौँ र भत्केकालाई पुनर्निर्माण गरेर फेरि पुरानै शैलीमा पुरानै जति पनि सामानहरू हामीले पुनः प्रयोग गर्न योग्य थिए त्यो सामानहरू जुन बटुलेर राखेको थियो त्यसलाई नै फेरि पुनः प्रयोग गरेर हामीले मन्दिरहरू बनायौँ। जस्तो हामीले नयाँ बनाउन नसकिने भन्ने होइन कि नयाँ बनाउँदाखेरि त्यसको जति महत्त्व हुन्छ त्यसलाई हामी चाहिँ भनौँ न अब अर्को 50 वर्षपछि हामीले त्यो नयाँ राम्रै बनाए पनि यो चाहिँ 72 सालको भुइँचालोपछि बनाए यसको चाहिँ 75 वर्ष भएको छ भन्ने चाहिँ हामी चाहिँ जुन रिसर्चबाट देख्छौँ। तर अहिले जुन मन्दिरहरू छन् 300-400 वर्ष पुरानो छन् त्यसलाई नै हामीले जोगाइराख्यो भने अझ त्यसको चाहिँ महत्त्व बढ्दै जान्छ। त्यसकारण जति सक्यो त्यति चाहिँ हामीले पुरानो सामग्रीहरूलाई पुनः प्रयोग गरेर त्यसलाई नै चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ युज गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने चाहिँ मान्यता राख्दछ।
पाटन दरबार स्क्वायर भनेको चाहिँ ललितपुरको मुटुमै छ, जसलाई हामीले मङ्गल बजार भनिन्छ। लिच्छवीकालदेखि यसमा विभिन्न मनी हुँदै यसलाई चाहिँ पछि अपभ्रंश भएर मङ्गल बजार भएको हो, यसमा इतिहास र पुरातात्विक प्रमाणमा 60वटा मणि छ भनिन्छन्, जसमध्ये मणि केशव, मणि भैरव, मणि गणेश, मणि कुमार, मणि धारा, मणि गुफा र मणि केशवर गरी यी 60वटा मणिहरू छन्, जुन यो मङ्गल बजारको यो पाटन दरबारको सेरोफेरोभित्रै रहेको छ। जसमध्ये मणि आइटी भनेको काठमाडौँ उपत्यकाको लिच्छवीकालीन धारा हो, जसलाई मानदेवको नाति भारोबीले बनाएको भनेको अभिलेख कुदिएको छ। मङ्गल बजारको जुन मणि धारा हालसम्म अविरल 1500 वर्षदेखि अविरल रूपमा पानी बग्दै आएको र स्थानीयको सांस्कृतिक सामाजिक महत्त्वको रूपमा रहेको धारा हो। राजपूत कलामा इन्फ्लुएन्स भएको कलाले भरिपूर्ण भएको चाहिँ चित्रकला हो, जुन चाहिँ 16औं शताब्दीमा बनेको। यसमा विशेष गरी सिङ्गारको रूपमा कृष्णलीला सम्बन्धी त्यसको ड्रेस कोड, मल्लकालीन कस्तो ड्रेसहरू लाउँथ्यो, हुन त त्यसमा राजा आफै भएको चित्र पनि हो। त्यसमा सिद्धिनरसिंह मल्लको आफ्नो पोर्ट्रेट पनि जुन रहेको छ।
सुन्दरी चोकको सबसे मुख्य सुन्दर कुरा भनेको चाहिँ यस चोकमा रहेको यो सोसाइटी हो, जसमा चाहिँ यो तान्त्रिज्म अथवा तान्त्रिक देवी देवताहरूको चाहिँ बढी प्रभाव रहेको छ। र सोसाइटीमा चाहिँ जुन एउटा जसबाट चाहिँ उखु जस्तै मिठो पानी आउँछ भने त्यसको सोसाइटीसँगै वरपर रहेका तान्त्रिक देवी देवताका मूर्तिहरूले पनि सुन्दर चोकलाई सुन्दर बनाएको छ। यहाँ अर्को काष्ठकलाको रूपमा चाहिँ शिवलिङ्गहरू पनि रहेका छन्। यहाँ जहाँ चाहिँ 509वटा शिवलिङ्ग रहेका छन् भने तिनीहरूको नाम चाहिँ 501वटा जुन चाहिँ प्रचलित लिपिमा लेखिएको छ। र तपाईँले यहाँ शिवलिङ्गमा पनि उपत्यकाका 64वटा ज्योतिर्लिङ्गहरूको नामहरू पनि यहाँ पाउन सक्नुहुन्छ। राजा सिद्धिनरसिंह मल्ललाई चाहिँ हरेक टोलबाट चाहिँ उपहार स्वरूप काष्ठ झ्यालहरू जुन चाहिँ हरेक बुट्टाहरूले उत्कीर्ण एकदम राम्रो खालका रहेका छन्, जसले पनि सुन्दर चोकलाई सुन्दर बनाउन चाहिँ सहयोग गरेको छ। प्लस यहाँका टुडालहरूमा रहेका आकृतिहरू, इरोटिक आकृतिहरूदेखि लिएर विभिन्न नारी मूर्तिहरूले पनि यस सुन्दर चोकलाई चाहिँ सुन्दर बनाउन मद्दत गरेको छ। साथै यहाँ रहेका सिद्धिनरसिंह मल्लको खाट जुन चाहिँ ढुङ्गाबाट बनेको छ, जहाँ राजा सिद्धिनरसिंह मल्लले चाहिँ गर्मीमा पञ्चाग्नि तापेर र जाडोमा नाङ्गे बसेर तपस्या गर्दथे भने
यसमध्ये मुख्य जात्रा भनेको भीमसेन जात्रा, गाई जात्रा, कृष्णाष्टमी, धेरै जात्राहरू छन्। सबभन्दा ठुलो जात्रा भनेको भीमसेन जात्रा हो। भीमसेन जात्रा ललितपुरको सबभन्दा ठुलो जात्रा, हाम्रो रथ मच्छिन्द्रनाथको रथ यात्रा पछिको ठुलो जात्रा हो। यसमा त यो यो श्रावण भाद्र महिनामा पर्दछ, कहिले श्रावणमा कहिले भाद्रमा पर्छ। यो कृष्णाष्टमीको कहिले भोलिपल्ट कहिले पर्सिपल्ट यो जात्रा
मा काशी विश्वनाथ मन्दिरमा मुगल बादशाहले आक्रमण गरेका थिए। आक्रमण गरेको बेलामा काठमाडौँ पनि खबर पुग्यो, यहाँ मुसलमानले काशी विश्वनाथमा काशी नगरमा आक्रमण गर्न लागेको छ भनेर यहाँको हिन्दूहरूलाई पनि बडो चोट लाग्यो। अनि यहाँको हिन्दू भागीरथ उहाँहरू चाहिँ नेपालको फौज सङ्कलन गरेर अब हामी बनारसमा गएर लड्न जाने, हामी विश्वनाथ मन्दिर बचाउने, काशीलाई बचाउने भनेर फौज जम्मा गरेर उतातिर हिँडे। अनि जाँदै गर्दै मकवान पुगेपछि उहाँहरूले के खबर आयो, काशी त ध्वस्त पारिसक्यो, जितिसक्यो औरङ्गजेबले, काशी विश्वनाथ पनि ध्वस्त पारिसक्यो भनेपछि लौ अब हामी लड्न जाने भने त्यसैको लागि अब लडिसक्यो, सबै स्याक गरिसक्यो, काशी नै नष्ट गरिसक्यो भनेपछि अब हामी गएर के काम, गए पनि हामी मर्न जाने मात्र, हामी हारिहाल्छौँ, हामीले केही गर्न सक्यो भने सबै खेतपूर्वक फर्केर आयो। फर्केर आएपछि भागिरहेको भएनाले मनमा के खेलिरह्यो भनेपछि यो मेरो काम फत्ते भएन, काशीलाई बचाउन सक्यो। अब सानो फौज गइहाल्यो तर आकाङ्क्षा त ठुलो रहेछ भने। अनि उहाँले के सोच्नुभयो भने म नै यहाँ काशीको मन्दिर विश्वनाथ बनाउँछु।
मासु उभो गर्ने, बलि दिने यो गरिसकेपछि तलेजु भवानीमा नवमी र दशमीको दिनमा जसरी बलि दिन्छ त्यो बलि दिएको अब यहाँ रगतको आहालै बग्थ्यो। अब आजकल त 5वटा बग्यो, 5वटा राङ्गो मात्रै। पहिले 54वटा भन्थ्यो, भक्तपुरमा 54वटै दिन्थ्यो, काठमाडौँमा 54वटै राङ्गो बोका बलि दिन्छ अहिले पनि। तर पाटनमा चाहिँ अहिले 5-5वटा मात्रै बलि दिन्छ। अनि त्यो बलि दिइसकेपछि जुन खुँडा त्यो बलि दिँदाखेरि प्रयोग गर्ने सामानहरू जसरी रक्ताम्य हुन्छ नि, त्यो रक्ताम्य भएको भाँडाकुँडा, खुँडाहरू, तरबार, खुकुरी यो सबै चाहिँ नि तलेजु भवानीको तलेजु भवानी मन्दिरको पूर्वपट्टि रहेको जुन भण्डारखाल बगैँचा छ, बगैँचामा एउटा ठुलो पोखरी छ। त्यो पोखरीमा एउटा धारो एउटा पनि छ, जसमा ढुङ्गे डाँडा। त्यो ढुङ्गे डाँडामा आएको पानीले नै पखाल्नुपर्छ भनेर एउटा शिलालेखमै उल्लेख गरेको छ। अनि यो भण्डारखालमा त्यो पखालिसकेपछि जुन त्यो रगतको पानी अनि त्यसमा टाँसेको मासुहरू जुन त्यो पोखरीमा जान्छ, त्यो पोखरीमा चाहिँ माछा पालेको पनि हुन्छ। अनि त्यहाँ त्यतिखेर हाँस पाल्ने, माछा पाल्ने गर्थ्यो भन्ने चाहिँ नि अब सुन्नमा आएको छ। तर अहिले त्यसको केही अब प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण त छैन। अनि त्यो ठाउँमा सिद्धिन्द्र सिंह मल्ल र सिद्धिन्द्र सिंह मल्लको रानी, त्यसपछिको राजाहरू र रानीहरू त्यहाँ पोखरीमा अवलोकन गर्ने, त्यही ठाउँमा नुहाउने, त्यही ठाउँमा त्यो लुगा फेर्ने, यस्तो पनि यस्तो गर्ने व्यवस्था अनुरूप त्यो ठाउँ बनाएको छ। त्यो ठाउँलाई चाहिँ कलात्मक रूपबाट एउटा मूर्तिहरू पुरेर, मूर्ति दायाँ बायाँ तोरण राखेर विभिन्न कलाकृतिहरूले परिपूर्ण एउटा सानो कोठा एउटा बनाएको छ, बरन्डा जस्तो बनाएको छ। त्यो ठाउँमा बसेर चाहिँ नि अवलोकन गर्ने भन्ने राजाहरूले चाहिँ त्यस्तो गर्छ भनेर। अनि त्यो जुन राजा बसेर अवलोकन गर्ने छ त्यसको माथितिर एउटा गुम्बज जस्तो एउटा बाटली जस्तो एउटा ठाउँ बनाएको छ। त्यो ठाउँमा चाहिँ नि रानी मात्रै जानु पाउने, अनि रानी बसेर अवलोकन गर्ने। अनि त्यहाँ तलेजुको पुजारीले पूजाआजा सकिसकेपछि प्रसाद दिनुको लागि अनि तलेजुको पुजारी एकजना जानु पाउने, रानी र तलेजुको पुजारी दुईजना मात्रै जानु पाउने भनेर शिलालेखमा उल्लेख गरेको छ।
soon be the third largest people.
Kathmandu has long been known as a place where natural beauty, history, culture, and spirituality come together in remarkable harmony. Rising above the western side of the valley stands Swambhunath, one of Nepal's most revered and ancient sites. Many simply call it Swambhu. For countless generations, it has been a sanctuary of spiritual devotion, a place where the first light of morning touches the prayer flags and where monks and devotees begin their day in meditation and worship. Swambhu is cherished by Buddhists from all over the world, yet it holds equal significance for many Hindus. This shared reverence creates a rare sense of unity within its sacred grounds.
Long before the birth of Lord Buddha, Sakyamuni, Buddhist tradition teaches that countless Buddhas have appeared in the universe and countless more will arise. Some teachings say that within the entire lifespan of this world system, many Buddhas, sometimes described as 1,000, will descend to guide beings. Among these, it is believed that 1,000 Buddhas are destined to visit and bless this sacred site. This Swambhu Chaitya is said to have manifested during the era of the fourth Buddha of this world cycle. According to our scriptures, that Buddha descended from the heavens and alighted upon Nagarjuna hill. At that time, the Kathmandu valley was not land as we see today. It was a vast, tranquil lake. From within those waters, only the self-arisen Swambhu appeared, standing above the surface like a radiant jewel. When the Buddha and his disciples saw this natural, elevated form, they marveled at its purity and power. What we see today from the outside, the golden spire, the dome, the painted eyes, is not the whole of it. Beneath these layers lies a perfectly pure, self-manifested Chaitya, said to be like luminous white metal, untouched by time. It arose spontaneously for the welfare of all beings. Those who come to Swambhu with sincerity, who bow, circumambulate, or simply offer a moment of devotion are believed to receive blessings that ease suffering, bring good fortune, and ultimately guide them toward liberation. The compassionate eyes of the Buddha, painted on all four sides, are a reminder that the Buddha's loving gaze extends to all living beings, humans, animals, birds, insects, every form of life. The Buddha wishes that all beings be free from suffering, that they find peace, and that no harm comes to anyone. The essence of the Buddha's message is simple: cultivate virtue, avoid causing harm, and keep the mind pure. If one person becomes peaceful, that peace naturally spreads to others. This is the heart of the Buddha's teachings.
The origins of Swayambhunath stretch back at least 2.5 millennia. Inscriptions and centuries-old statues found throughout the site testify to its long-standing presence and its profound cultural importance. The stupa itself is one of Nepal's traditional religious landmarks, crowned by the serene eyes of the Buddha that gaze out across all four directions. These eyes are regarded as a message of compassion, awareness, and peace for all beings. For Buddhists, the stupa and its symbols become a guide toward understanding the teachings of the Buddha. For Hindu visitors, the temples and images of deities within the complex hold deep spiritual meaning of their own.
In Buddhism, each month contains 5 significant sacred days. The 8th day, Ashtami, is considered especially important. On this day, we recite the teachings of the medicine Buddha for healing and protection. The 10th day, Dasami, is dedicated to Vajra Guru Padmasambhava. The full moon is honored with equal reverence and associated with the blessings of Vajra Yogini. The new moon is dedicated to Mahakala, the great protector. It is believed that worship performed on these days yields vast merit and profound results. The Buddha's teachings remind us that beings have existed since beginningless time, and the cycle of life has no absolute start or end. What truly matters is learning how to live with compassion, harmony, and happiness here and now.
In 1989, Swayambhunath was formally recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, an honor that elevated Nepal's cultural identity on the global stage and helped protect this extraordinary place for future generations.
I'm from America. I was driving past and I saw the temple with the monkeys, and I really wanted to know what that was, so I looked it up and I came here today to see the temple and all the monkeys.
First of all, we went to Nepal because we love this country and we wanted to see the environment. As from up, we heard it's very important for the Nepali people, so we wanted to see how it is and how people what people do here and how it looks like.
We heard it's a beautiful place to go, and we really should see it. And so I think we just walk up and see all the beauty of this place.
The surroundings of Swayambhu offer many places of interest. Pilgrims and travelers often find themselves captivated by the calm atmosphere and the panoramic views over the Kathmandu Valley. The architecture of the complex reflects a graceful blend of Nepali and Tibetan influences. The stupa follows ancient Nepali design traditions, while the monasteries and retreat houses that surround it reflect elements of Tibetan craftsmanship. These two styles together give Swayambhunath a distinctive character found nowhere else. Preserving Swayambhu is not only a religious responsibility, it is an effort guided equally by historical and cultural commitment. The temples, statues, and inscriptions within the complex carry stories that span centuries. The main stupa, crowned by the four compassionate eyes, remains the heart of the site. Monks gather each day to meditate and study. Within these halls, elaborate paintings and sacred sculptures portray episodes from the life of the Buddha and remind visitors of the spiritual traditions that continue to flourish here. The entrance to Swayambhunath features a gate designed to convey purity and reverence. Sculptures and painted figures on the gate reveal the guiding ideals of Buddhist philosophy. Scattered around the grounds are ancient inscriptions that preserve the history of the land. Statues of various Buddhas stand alongside images of Parvati and Shiva, creating a space where cultural diversity and shared devotion coexist with harmony. Swayambhunath is one of Nepal's most visited destinations. Its landscapes, spiritual gravity, and cultural richness draw people from around the world. Each year, millions of visitors, both local and international, climb the steps leading toward the stupa. Their presence contributes greatly to Nepal's tourism economy and to the livelihoods of those who live and work nearby.
स्वयम्भुनाथ परिसरमा रहेका स्मृति सामग्रीहरू जस्तै बुद्धका मूर्ति, थाङ्का, मालाहरू, गहना, धार्मिक सामग्रीहरूले व्यवसाय गर्ने व्यवसायीहरूको जीविकोपार्जन भइरहेको छ।
The number of tourists has increased significantly compared to previous years. Earlier, we used to have clear off seasons, but now we see international visitors throughout the year. However, their spending capacity has dropped to less than what we used to get before. In the past, if a group of 30 tourists came into our shops, at least 20 of them would buy something. Today, only 2 or 3 of them make a purchase out of the same-sized group. Visitors also compare prices more carefully now, mainly because similar goods are widely available elsewhere. This shop is our family's livelihood, so these changes affect us deeply.
Craftspeople and merchants sell ritual objects, thangkas, prayer beads, and other items used in Buddhist practice. These items connect not only with Nepali devotees, but also with those from Buddhist communities in China, Thailand, Sri Lanka, and beyond.
It has been about 7 years since I started my business along the circumambulation route of Swayambhu. Visitors are drawn here mainly because of the deep religious significance of this place. There are many gumbas and temples in the area, and Swayambhunath itself is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. These species are revered by both Buddhists and Hindus, and it is this shared devotion that keeps the entire area vibrant and full of life.
The earthquake of 2015 brought significant destruction to Swayambhunath. Several structures collapsed and many priceless sculptures were damaged. The impact on the site's cultural heritage was deeply felt throughout the country. Yet, the response to this tragedy revealed the strength of the community. Local residents, government agencies, cultural experts, monks, and international organizations came together to restore the complex. The rebuilding process became more than a physical reconstruction. It became a spiritual effort guided by devotion and the hope of preserving peace and compassion for future generations. Today, visitors find improved pathways, restored shrines, and safe spaces from which to explore the site. Nearby, guest houses and small hotels offer comfortable places to stay for those who wish to spend more time experiencing the surroundings. For many, Swayambhu is not only a religious landmark but a symbol of introspection and inner calm. The peaceful environment encourages reflection. The sacred presence of the stupa gives visitors a sense of quiet strength. The eyes of the Buddha seem to guide those who come seeking balance, clarity, or a moment of stillness. As the sun rises, its light glimmers on the golden pinnacle of the stupa. And as the night falls, the view of Kathmandu from this hilltop feels almost otherworldly, as though the city below is touched by a gentle glow. Swayambhunath continues to stand as a reminder of the spiritual harmony that has shaped Nepal for centuries. It invites every visitor to pause, to breathe, and to discover a deeper part of themselves. Nepali Congress's two factions fight for legitimacy. Special Convention elected Working Committee knocks Election Commission for recognition. Communities across Nepal celebrate Makar Sankranti in diverse traditions. Tharu community observe Maghi. Kirat community welcome New Year 5086. At least 5 workers killed after truck overturns along coastal highway in eastern Nepal's Sunsari. 3 injured. Nepal observes National Yoga Day with focus on daily practice. Experts say even minutes of yoga can strengthen body and mind. US suspends immigrant visa processing from 75 countries. Nepal also on the list. And CAN appoints Ian Harvey as bowling consultant of Nepali national cricket squad. Ex-Australian cricketer to prepare team for T20 World Cup. Good evening. I am Sarah Sapsanamarai and this is NTV World News Hour coming to you live from Kathmandu at 2200 hours Nepal time. Now the news in detail. The newly elected Working Committee of Nepali Congress, chosen at the party's second Special General Convention, held its first meeting today at a private venue in Kupandol, Lalitpur. According to party's spokesperson Devaraj Chalise, the committee decided to inform the Election Commission about the convention's decisions immediately. Special General Convention elected party president Gagan Thapa and other central members personally submitted the resolutions and documents to the commission requesting a prompt update. With both Thapa's committee and the party's establishment faction seeking official recognition, the dispute over leadership in the Nepali Congress is becoming increasingly complex. More on the post-split scenario of Nepali Congress in our issue of the day later this evening. Now, Magh 1st signifies celebrations across Nepal with different communities observing their unique traditions. Today, Maghe Sankranti was marked with ritual baths, prayers and fairs at sacred rivers. In the southern plains, the Nahan bathing festival draws devotees to Devghat, Trishuli, Bagmati, Kaligandaki and Ridi, believed to bring merit equivalent to donating gold. Likewise, Tharu community celebrated Maghi as their new year with communal gatherings, traditional dances, songs and feasts featuring ethnic foods. Magar community also marks the day with ancestral rituals, Nagan dances and local delicacies like yam and soybeans. Nepal's Kirat community welcomes Yeledong 5086 New Year, holding cultural programs and organizing various programs. The 1st of Magh, as per Nepali calendar, is more than a festival. It symbolizes purification, renewal and the sun's northward journey, bringing Nepal's diverse communities together in devotion, culture and joy. This we bring more on our cover story in the bulletin later. Meanwhile, 5 people were killed in a road accident this afternoon in Sunayahi, a village in Bhokraha Narsing Rural Municipality located in the Sunsari district of eastern Nepal. The accident occurred when a truck carrying marble overturned along the postal highway, a major east-west route connecting towns across the region. The deceased have been identified as 32-year-old Dhirendra Gurung, 55-year-old Brahmadev Gurung, 50-year-old Tanka Gurung, 28-year-old Nishu Gurung and 55-year-old Chandra Gurung, all residents of Barzu Rural Municipality. According to Deputy Superintendent of Police Chandra Bahadur Khadka, all 5 were killed on the spot after being crushed by the cargo. The postal highway where the accident occurred is one of the main transport arteries in eastern Nepal, linking rural municipalities like Bhokraha and Barzu with larger towns and trade centers. Nepal observed the 11th National Yoga Day today under the theme Yoga for a Healthy Society, Prosperous Nepal and World Peace, with various programs organized at federal, provincial and local levels. Yoga, which was studied and developed by sages in the Himalayan region during Vedic times, had nearly vanished in Nepal. The observance of National Yoga Day has sparked a revival of yoga and Ayurveda, according to experts and has contributed to the growth of these sectors in the country. Since ancient times, yoga, meditation and Ayurveda have been believed to bring mental peace, stability and good health. This year, awareness programs across the nation continue this tradition, emphasizing the importance of integrating yoga into daily life in order to foster physical, mental and social well-being. U.S. State Department has announced it will pause immigrant visa processing for 75 countries. A statement issued by the U.S. State Department has said it will pause immigrant visa processing from 75 nations whose migrants take welfare from the American people at unacceptable rates. The freeze will remain active until the U.S. can ensure that new immigrants will not extract wealth from the American people. The move affects applicants from regions including Latin America, Brazil, Colombia, Uruguay, the Balkans, Bosnia, Albania, South Asian countries, except Africa, the Middle East and the Caribbean. The decision follows a November directive to U.S. diplomats to ensure that visa applicants are financially self-sufficient and unlikely to rely on government assistance during their stay. Nepal's Cricket Association has appointed former Australian international cricketer Ian Harvey as the bowling consultant for the Nepal national cricket team. The experienced coach has been brought on board to prepare the team for the upcoming T20 World Cup and other international tournaments. The T20 World Cup will begin on 7th of February in India and Sri Lanka, featuring 20 teams competing across 8 venues over 29 days. Nepal has been placed in Group C alongside England, West Indies, Italy and Bangladesh, with England and West Indies being 2-time champions. A newly elected Nepali Congress Working Committee held its first meeting today and formally approached the Election Commission to register decisions of the Special General Convention. As rival factions seek official recognition, the power struggle within the party has further intensified. A special coverage on it after this short break. You're watching NTV World and this is News Hour. Welcome back. Time now for issue of the day. A new working committee elected by the second Special General Convention of Nepali Congress held its first meeting today. The meeting took place at a private venue in Kupandol, Lalitpur and was attended by the newly elected office bearers and committee members. According to spokesperson Devraj Chalisi, the first meeting decided, among other things, to inform the Election Commission about the decisions made at the Special General Convention on the same day. Following that decision, party's president, Gagan Thapa, along with other central members and office bearers, went to the Election Commission. The team submitted the decisions passed at the Special General Convention along with relevant documents to the Commission for official updating. The Thapa-led Nepali Congress has requested the Commission to update the details promptly. With both the party's establishment faction and Thapa's newly elected committee approaching the Commission for official recognition, the dispute over authority within Nepali Congress has become more complex. A day after the split in Nepali Congress, both sides tried to fortify their fortress, submitting additional papers at the Election Commission to convening the first Central Committee was on the menu for a special convention elected President Gagan Thapa's side. Unlike Thapa's claim of taking over Sanepa office, a private banquet was the venue for the meeting, while party president Sher Bahadur Deuba-led side was busy in legal consultations ahead of the Election Commission verdict. Sabika Shrestha brings the day's developments.
Following Gagan Kumar Thapa's election as the president of the Nepali Congress at a special general convention, uncertainty over the March 5 election has deepened. Despite Thapa's claim of being the inception side now, the first meeting of the special general convention elected executive committee was held at a private banquet hall in Kupandol. The Sher Bahadur Deuba-led side, on the other hand, intensified legal consultations as the claim over the party flag and election symbol has reached the Election Commission. Raghav Gautam of the party's Central Information, Communication and Publicity Department said the conflict has been long-standing.
Nepali Congress has this special clause in their constitution, the clause 17.2, which guarantees the right of those delegates to ask for a special convention if they deem it necessary for the change in leadership or maybe the change in policies to basically the ask was to hold a special convention, but the party leadership, the existing party leadership, didn't think that it was necessary for them to even address that basic demand, and that led to this most unfortunate event in the entire political history of Nepal.
The battle has started now with one side claiming that they had convened the special general convention as per party statute, while the other remaining firm on the need of endorsing the special general convention from the Central Committee. Gagan Thapa and Vishwa Prakash Sarma, who lacked majority in the Central Committee, opted to bypass the leadership in their attempt to revolt against the older generation. The dispute is expected to end up in the Supreme Court, raising concerns about its impact on the upcoming elections. Advocate Radheshyam Adhikari said the Election Commission would prioritize majority support if procedures were followed.
निर्वाचन आयोगले धेरै कुरा हेर्नुपर्ने छैन. विशेष अधिवेशन भयो कि भएन, यति कुराको निर्णय दिए पुग्छ. त्यो विशेष अधिवेशन भयो भन्ने लाग्दछ निर्वाचन आयोगलाई भनेदेखि त्यो चाहिँ अब संस्थापन पक्ष त्यो हुन्छ. अब यदि त्यो कुरा त्यो विशेष अधिवेशन भएकै छैन भन्ने निर्वाचन आयोगलाई लाग्छ भने त्यो अवस्थामा चाहिँ अर्कै कुरा हुन्छ. कांग्रेसको विधान भनेको निर्वाचन आयोगको पनि सहमतिले बनेको हुन्छ र त्यो विधानको धारा 17(2) ले विशेष अधिवेशन बोलाउनलाई योग्यता पुगेका महाधिवेशन प्रतिनिधिहरूले बोलाइसकेपछि र त्यो कुरा चाहिँ सम्पन्न भइसकेपछि त्यसले जे आउटकम ल्याएको छ त्यो आउटकमलाई चाहिँ निर्वाचन आयोगले मान्नुपर्छ.
Political analysts warn that the unresolved legal battle within Nepal's oldest democratic party could reshape electoral dynamics and alliances in the weeks ahead. Sabika Shrestha with camera person Samir Thapa reporting for NTV World.
Now, as Nepali Congress faces a widening divide between Thapa-led faction and the party's establishment group, questions over the inevitability of the split are surfacing. Today in our Public Pulse segment, we asked if the split was avoidable. Let's take a look.
I see the split of Nepali Congress as an exercise of democracy, democratic dissent within the party. I think this was long coming because Sher Bahadur Deuba was withholding power for a long time. And this was fracturing the democratic nature and the legacy of the party from inside. So I think this is a much needed dissent within the party. And I think this paves a road for new leadership within the party for Nepali Congress. But that doesn't mean we have to stop being critical of the party or we have to stop holding the leaders accountable.
यो नेपाली कांग्रेसको अहिलेको हिजोको विभाजन भनौं हैन, यसलाई चाहिँ हामीले जेनजी आन्दोलनको पराकम्पनको साइड इफेक्टको रूपमा हो र यसले चाहिँ देशलाई एउटा नयाँ बाटोमा चाहिँ लैजाने चाहिँ सम्भावना चाहिँ धेरै नै छ.
And this is not the first time it's happening. So I do see it as a good democratic process within the party. However, I am cautiously optimistic. I do want to see what does this new fraction or this new leadership bring to the country. They did talk about 20% of youth representation and many other things. So let's see how that pans out. It's just a wait and watch situation.
नेपाली कांग्रेसको पार्टीका साथीहरू जो नीति र नेतृत्व चयन गर्ने अधिकार प्राप्त निकाय महाधिवेशन र महाधिवेशनका प्रतिनिधिहरूका बीचको चाहिने सशक्त भूमिकाका माध्यमबाट नेपाली कांग्रेसले भर्खरै दोस्रो विशेष महाधिवेशन सम्पन्न गरेको छ। त्यसका कारणले नेपाली कांग्रेस चाहिँ टुक्रिएको कुरासँग म सहमत छैन।
I observed it in full HD in TV. Right? I see a lot of news about new leaders coming, this guy is replacing that guy. I don't care. What about me? What is this new guy gonna do about me? Public, why is no one talking about public? All this is supposed to benefit us or harm us in some way. How is this new guy gonna be different from old guy? For me, I don't care these new faces, new people. It's very good, very nice, very aesthetic. But all I care about is me. What is this new guy gonna do about me? That's what I want to know about.
I think this is what the Gen Z people have fought for. So this is, I think for them, this is a win situation. And I'm happy that they have been able to break the chain of patriarchy in politics. We have to, there is a lot coming around, so we have to wait and watch what will come in next, I think so.
That wraps up our issue of the day. Maghe Sagrati brought thundering excitement to Nepal as traditional Goru Judai, which is bullfighting, returned to villages from Taruka to Dhankuta. But amid fading farming traditions and growing modern influences, these age-old contests are now fighting not just for glory, but for survival. We'll look into that in our cover story of the day after this break. Welcome back to News Hour here on NTV World. The first day of the month of Magh as per lunar calendar that falls on mid-January is special in Nepal. The country comes alive with festive spirit of Maghi and Maghe Sagrati, celebrated as New Year by Tharu and Magar communities. These festivals bring families and communities together, blending devotion, joy and Nepal's rich cultural heritage. Rochina Rai looks into these celebrations.
Nepal celebrates Maghe Sankranti, also known as Makar Sankranti, as per lunar calendar. As one of its most cherished festivals, it marks the sun's northward journey, signaling the end of the winter and the start of longer days and new beginnings. While the essence of the festival remains the same, its celebration varies across communities, each adding its own tradition and flavor. For the Tharu and Magar communities, Maghe is celebrated as the New Year, while the Newar community observe the day as Gya Chaku Salu, when ghee and molasses are consumed to provide warmth and energy during winter. In western districts such as Dang, Kapilvastu, Kailali and Nawalparasi, Tharu villages are filled with excitement and joy with the celebrations. The villages came alive with harvest feast, ancestral worship and vibrant traditional dances. The air resonates with the rhythms of Maghota and Sakhiya dances. Homes are filled with the aroma have special ethnic delicacies like a dhikri, fish, snail, pork and wild boar accompanied by homemade rice or millet wine. During this time, villagers also select annual leaders such as the Badghar, watchman and Guruba who guides the community in development, security and religious affairs. Meanwhile, in the hilly regions of Nepal, including Thankuta, Tanahu, Lomjung and Magdi, the Magar community celebrates Magi with equal enthusiasm. Dressed in their traditional attire, they perform the ancestral dance, filling with the streets with joy and color. The celebrations often begin with the rally featuring Kaura and Jhaure performances, leading to the main festival venue such as Damoli. Ethnic dishes like bara, roasted soyabeans, gundruk and taro offer a unique taste of the region. Maghe Sankranti is more than just a festival, it is a spiritual and cultural marker of renewal. It symbolizes health, prosperity and community, serving as a time for charity, religious rituals and new ventures. Above all, it is a moment when Nepali communities across the country come together to celebrate life, tradition and the hope for year ahead.
Nepal's indigenous Kirat community marked their new year 5086 Yele Sambat. A program was held in federal capital Kathmandu with celebrations organized by Kirat Rai Yayokha Central Working Committee. The event featured cultural programs highlighting the community's traditional practices, heritage and contributions to Nepal's cultural development. The community continues to uphold Kirat Mundhum as a guiding philosophy, reflecting its enduring role in the country's heritage and traditions. During the program, awards and recognitions were presented, including the Hang Yalumbar Memorial Award, which was conferred to Kathmandu Mayor Balendra Shah and Dharan Mayor Harka Sampang. In addition, scholarships were distributed to outstanding students from various schools in honor of the first Kirat King, Yalumbar. Celebrations emphasized the Kirat community's efforts to preserve their indigenous culture and identity while contributing to Nepal's social, historical and cultural development. Another important ritual on the day of Maghe Sankranti is the Makar Snan, a traditional ritual bath. Major river confluences across Nepal become gathering points for devotees on this day. Thousands of people took ritual baths at Mahakali River in Kanchanpur, believing it cleanses sins and brings spiritual merit. Large crowds were also seen at Devghat in Chitwan Tanahu, Trishuli River in central Nepal, Kali Gandaki in Mustang and Magdi, Bagmati River in Kathmandu Valley, Indravati River in Sindhu Palchuk, Triveni in Nawalparasi and Ridi in Gulmi. In far western Nepal, villagers built temporary bathing ghats, washed clothes used in Posh and prepared traditional foods. The day is also celebrated with new clothes, sweets and the beginning of Tharu Magi festivities, blending devotion, culture and community traditions. On the occasion of Maghe Sankranti, traditional bullfighting competitions known as Goru Juthai were held across various parts of Nepal. The annual spectacle, organized on the first day of Nepali month of Magh, drew large crowds in districts such as Nuwakot, Lomjung and Thankuta. In Nuwakot, the centuries-old festival took place at Taruga's Chandani, where 13 pairs of bulls competed. It showcased a tradition often compared to Spain's bullfighting. Lomjung hosted contests at 2 venues with 27 bulls, while Thankuta featured 9 competing pairs, attracting spectators from neighboring districts. Despite declining traditional farming practices, Goru Juthai continues to symbolize Nepal's cultural heritage and community spirit, with winning bull owners honored with cash prizes and public recognition. The city of Lalitpur in Nepal marked the Lasta Samyak Mahadan, a major religious festival held every 5 years, celebrating its centenary this year. The event, hosted at Bhaskar Varna Mahabihar in Nyaka Chowk, brought together devotees from across Kathmandu Valley to welcome and ceremonially install sacred figures including Dipankar Buddha, Tathagata Shakyamuni, Bodhisattvas and Adyatara through traditional music, rituals and processions. As part of the festival, 127 deities from temples in Kathmandu, Kirtipur, Lalitpur and Bhaktapur were brought together for worship. Devotees offered rice, greens and fruits to Shakya Vajracharyas, who are the priests who had completed sacred rituals, believing that these offerings bring spiritual merit and blessings. The day-long festivities concluded in the evening with ceremonial rituals marking the end of this historic event. That concludes our cover story of the day. Now more from the National Front. Today is also National Yoga Day in Nepal. The 11th National Yoga Day today is being observed under the theme Yoga for a Healthy Society, Prosperous Nepal and World Peace, with various programs organized at federal, provincial and local levels. Yoga, which was studied and developed by sages in the Himalayan region during Vedic times, had nearly vanished in Nepal. The observance of National Yoga Day has sparked a revival of yoga and Ayurveda, according to experts, and contributed to the growth of these sectors in the country. Since ancient times, yoga, meditation and Ayurveda have been believed to bring mental peace, stability and good health. This year, awareness programs across the nation continue this tradition, emphasizing the importance of integrating yoga into daily life to foster physical, mental and social well-being. Nepal marked National Yoga Day today, a reminder that yoga is more than a yearly observance. It's a daily practice that has proven to strengthen one's body while soothing the mind. Shiva Prasad Upriti takes a look.
Nepal marks Yoga Day on 2 occasions each year. National Yoga Day, observed on March 1st in the lunar calendar, mid-January, and International Yoga Day on June 21st. But health experts say the true impact of yoga is not in annual observations, but in making it a daily practice. Experts say that in today's fast-paced and increasingly chaotic lifestyle, yoga offers a simple yet effective way to prevent a range of physical and mental health conditions. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, 1 in every 7 individuals worldwide is living with a mental health condition, while an estimated 4.4% of the global population suffers from stress and anxiety-related disorders, highlighting a growing crisis in mental well-being. At the same time, non-communicable diseases, including heart disease, have emerged as a leading cause of death in the modern world. Science, too, supports yoga's benefits. Studies show that regular practice improves flexibility, balance, and strength, reduces stress hormones, and boosts brain chemicals linked to happiness, such as serotonin, endorphins, and dopamine. Even a few minutes of yoga each day has been shown to calm the mind, sharpen memory, and improve focus, particularly among students and working professionals.
When you start working with your attentional skills, when you attain your stable attention, then probably you have a assessment, you have right skillful approach towards life and good experience in life. So through yoga and meditation also comes in the format of yoga, you really change the body's gear into the different level of energy, and which will help you ultimately to remain powerful, to remain flexible, to remain balanced, and to remain full of endurance in life. You are fluid, you are creative, and you are a little bit of spiritual to yourself.
According to the experts, yoga activates the nervous system, improves digestion and circulation, and supports immunity. Research even shows yoga improves quality of life. It is believed to be more than physical health. As Patanjali said, yoga stills the restless mind. The nation came together amidst ceremonies to mark the National Yoga Day on Thursday, with stakeholders emphasizing the need of yoga to move from stages and ceremonies to every home, every day, because a healthy mind creates a healthy society.
Experts say incorporating even a few minutes of yoga each day can improve physical health, boost mental well-being, and help prevent lifestyle-related diseases. Earlier, we spoke to medical doctor and yoga practitioner Dr. Arati Regmi to find out whether yoga can even help prolong life in today's fast-paced world. Well, what can yoga do that allopathy cannot, especially to people in this fast-paced world that we are living in?
Yeah, actually, yoga is integrates physical and mental health into a unified state of well-being. It brings harmony between the body and mind, not just physical exercise or mental relaxation alone. So, yoga is meant for prevention. Prevention is better than cure. It helps maintain balance into body and mind, reduces stress, prevents lifestyle-related disease, non-communicable diseases like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, dyslipidemia, chronic respiratory disease, and obesity as well. So medicine is primarily focused on treating disease after they occur. Yoga prevents and promotes long-term well-being. Medicine treats disease and manages symptoms. So yoga creates simultaneously improve mental clarity, emotional stability, and physical health.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Regmi, would you say that yoga can be a powerful tool to help prolong life?
Yeah, of course. Yoga can be a powerful tool to help prolong life, especially when practiced regularly, because yoga helps to activate a parasympathetic nervous system, and it helps to increase positive hormones like serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins, dopamine. So it reduces stress and slows aging, prevents chronic disease. It improves heart, lung, and metabolic health, preventing lifestyle diseases, enhancing mental peace and emotional balance, and improving sleep, immune system, and overall vitality. So by keeping the body healthy and our mind calm, yoga reduces early illness and supports longer and better lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Regmi, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Now, both government revenue and spending have lagged behind targets in the midterm review of the current fiscal year. As of mid-January, the government has collected approximately $4.06 billion, or 38% of its annual revenue target of $10.58 billion. Meanwhile, total expenditure reached around $4.76 billion, just 35% of the planned $13.55 billion budget. Current spending accounts for roughly $3.36 billion, or 41% of the annual allocation, while capital expenditure remains low at about $3.41 million, representing 12% of its target. Financial management expenses stand at $1.06 billion, around 41% of the yearly plan. The midterm review highlights weak revenue collection and slow budget implementation, raising concerns over the government's ability to meet its fiscal targets this year. A quick look at the headlines first, then we take you around the world. Nepali Congress's two factions fight for legitimacy. Special Convention elected Working Committee knocks Election Commission for recognition. Communities across Nepal celebrate Makar Sankranti in diverse traditions. Tharu community observe Maghi. Kirat community welcome New Year 5086. At least 5 workers killed after truck overturns along postal highway in eastern Nepal's Sunsari. 3 injured. Nepal observes National Yoga Day with focus on daily practice. Experts say even minutes of yoga can strengthen body and mind. US suspends immigrant visa processing from 75 countries. Nepal also on the list. And CAN appoints Ian Harvey as bowling consultant of Nepali national cricket squad, the ex-Australian cricketer to prepare team for T20 World Cup. US President Donald Trump has said at the White House that he had been informed the killing in Iran is stopping, referring to recent violent crackdowns on protests inside the country.
The killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or executions. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it. I'm sure if it happens, we'll all be very upset.
The remarks come amid reports by rights groups that Iranian authorities were using force to suppress demonstrations. At the same time, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps stated that it is prepared to respond decisively to perceived threats from the US and Israel. Commander Mohammad Bakpour accused leaders in Washington and Tel Aviv of instigating unrest, allegations that both countries have denied. The statements underscore long-standing tensions in the region, highlighting the risk of further escalation in an already volatile Middle East. 4 astronauts evacuated from the International Space Station ISS have safely returned to Earth after their stay in orbit was cut short by a month due to a serious medical issue. The crew, including NASA astronaut Mike Finke, Japan's Kimiya Yui, NASA's Zina Cardman, and cosmonaut Oleg Platonov, landed and exited the spacecraft following standard procedures. This marks the first evacuation of astronauts from the ISS for medical reasons since the station began orbiting Earth in 1998. We're going for a short breather here. Business news coming up next.
The Banque de France announced that the interest rate on the Livret A savings account will drop to 1.5% next month. The Livret A is a widely used tax-free savings product that offers households a secure place to store money. The rate cut reflects slowing inflation in the country, signaling a shift in economic conditions. Lower savings rates reduce returns for depositors, but can encourage more spending and investment. This move is part of broader central bank measures to balance economic growth and price stability. Changes in such rates are closely watched internationally as they can influence global financial flows. A group of emerging generative AI companies, including Zipu AI, Moonshot AI, Minimax, and Baichuan, are making waves in the artificial intelligence sector. These startups are developing advanced AI tools that compete with established technology firms in areas like content creation, natural language processing, and automation. The rapid growth of generative AI highlights how smaller players are increasingly capable of rivaling global tech giants. Investors and businesses are closely watching this trend as it could reshape the competitive landscape in AI innovation. The development reflects broader global interest in harnessing AI for commercial and consumer applications. These companies are part of a wave of innovation pushing the boundaries of what AI can achieve. American luxury retailer Saks has filed for bankruptcy after struggling with heavy debt and unpaid supplier obligations. The Fifth Avenue flagship store in New York highlights the company's long-standing presence in the global luxury market. The filing reflects challenges in managing debt while maintaining operations in a competitive retail environment. Bankruptcy allows the company to restructure its finances and potentially stabilize operations. Saks' situation underscores the pressures facing high-end retailers amid changing consumer spending patterns. The move is part of a broader trend of financial adjustments within the global retail sector. France has increased entry fees for non-EU visitors to the Louvre Museum by 45%, part of a broader effort to fund renovations and maintain the landmark. The dual pricing approach is one of the first of its kind in Europe, charging different rates based on visitors' origins. The policy is expected to generate 20 to 30 million euros annually to support repairs and security upgrades following recent challenges. Other major French cultural sites, including Versailles and the National Opera, are implementing similar fee hikes for non-European visitors. Access for minors and young Europeans under 26 remains free, preserving opportunities for youth engagement. The move reflects a growing trend in some countries to adjust tourism pricing as a revenue source while balancing cultural accessibility.
Those are our business updates. Time now for sports news. The match between Sankata Football Club and Sadobata Youth Club ended in a goalless draw in the ongoing NTV National League football in Kathmandu. Although both teams had some opportunities to score in the game held at NTV Centre in Sadobata, they failed to capitalize on them. With this draw, both teams shared 1 point each. 17 teams are competing in the National League, organized by All Nepal Football Association, including 13 teams from Marty's Memorial A Division League and 4 selected from NTV President League. In the only match scheduled under the league tomorrow, Machindra Football Club will compete against New Road team NRT. The match will begin at 7 p.m. at Dashrath Stadium in Tripureshwar. Prior to this match, the formal opening ceremony of the National League Football 2082 will take place. Time now for the weather update, first from Nepal and then from around the world. And before wrapping up, here's a look into the headlines once again. Nepali Congress's 2 factions fight for legitimacy. Special convention elected working committee knocks election commission for recognition. Communities across Nepal celebrate Makar Sankranti in diverse traditions. Thadu community observe Maghi. Kirat community welcome New Year 5086. At least 5 workers killed after truck overturns along postal highway in eastern Nepal's Sunsari. 3 injured. Nepal observes National Yoga Day with focus on daily practice. Experts say even minutes of yoga can strengthen body and mind. US suspends immigrant visa processing from 75 countries. Nepal also on the list. And CAN appoints Ian Harvey as bowling consultant of Nepali national cricket squad, ex-Australian cricketer to prepare team for T20 World Cup. That's all for the moment here on NTV World News Hour. Do join us through our social media and get the latest update from our official website, nepaltelevision.com. I am Sarah Sapsanamarai. Thank you for staying with us. Good night.